Yeah, only gasless one time. He's really happy with the 12 gas, playing standard, just kind of splitting the map. We haven't really seen the aggressive Mihu that we're used to. He's definitely had a little style change, it seems, in this BSL, which is very interesting to me, but he is doing it well. I mean, here he is again in the loser bracket final, trying to make it back to a grand final.
Yeah, I mean, we might see another gasless on Dark Origin just because of the two-player map gas steal is so likely from Bonyth. I imagine he may be forced to gasless there like before. But yeah, usually opting for that 12 gas timing and playing super mid-range. But it's like both players are ready, so we can jump into game number 1 here on Apocalypse.
All right, and spawning in the top center of Apocalypse, it is Bonyth. And in the bottom right, we have Mihu. Well, it's great to have Zero back as the observer, because he knows that we like to give our little intro here with some zoom in, zoom out. We're not just focused on one player. So great job from Zero there.
Yeah, there's no observer bias. At least that's too obvious. That was a bit weird, actually, yesterday, wasn't it? Where it was like Zanoon was like the afterthought until the end.
And all of a sudden, Game 7, the observer was like, "No, I got to focus on him a little bit. I can't allow it. It's obvious."
Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you think anything crazy out of Bonyth, like something super greedy or aggressive, or we're going to be seeing a very safe and standard play from him?
I think we're going to see Zealot first here. It really worked well for him the last time. Mihu struggled trying to take care of business, so I think that's what we're going to see from him, where we're going to see Zealot Goon pressure on that natural, try to slow Mihu down into that Reaver carrier style. I think that's what he planned the first time it worked. I think he'll stick with it and go for it again.
Yeah, there is no ramp for the Terran to take advantage of defensively, so that might just be the tipping point to allow you to get in there with some Zealot Goon action and get on top of that Terran early on, especially on this 3-player map. Won't be hard to find him earlier on, and 12 Nexus is a little bit riskier on a map like this.
Yeah, we don't really see the 12 Nexus from Bonyth, right? Like, it's very rare we see him go for that build. It's obviously something he's not as comfortable with, and he prefers to play just a standard opener.
Yeah, let me see that 12 gas here from Mihu, so very expected game thus far. Both players electing to be extremely mid-range going forward.
Yeah, I'm going to channel my inner Nyokin here and give Mihu a little tip. If he just would make a wall on this map, he wouldn't have to worry about the Zealot first. He can just hide behind it, but no one uses the walls. No one uses the wall.
I mean, is there something to be said that maybe they go like 10, 15 Dragoon, like pressure the wall, and then you're in a little bit of trouble? Is there something to be said for that or not?
The problem is once you hold it and you repair and you get siege mode, you're so behind, right? Like, you must bust as Protoss there, right? If you're going to do that, that's got to be... so that's why we don't see this much. Once Terran recognizes it, they get siege first, skip mines, tank out, and you just expand, and Protoss is cut. You can do 10, 15. Some people do it into like a double expand because you have so many goons you can kind of hold the Terran back, but you're playing with a little bit of fire.
Okay, well, good little tip. You few Terrans at home on the ladder, maybe do a little bit of walling on this map, try and take advantage of that. Look at the win record there from Mihu, now suffering that recent loss against Zanhu, not looking quite as hot, especially with the other loss against him. Maybe a very deep rivalry starting to begin between these two as they are in contention for the best Chinese player spot.
Yeah, I mean, they're just get after with each other, and it always seems to go the distance. It's never one-sided 4-3 all the time.
Oh, it's crazy how close it is. And I guess it's so subjective at this point who is the better of the two. And maybe stylistically, it's very hard to determine. But they're both still scrapping for it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, even within their own scene.
And that's a very impressive record here for our Polish Bonyth. Look at that. Very clean record. Taking a 1-3 loss against Mihu B4. He's going to want to avoid a result like that here today.
Absolutely. I think Bonyth, right here, we see the pressure coming in. Here we go, Zone. Here we go. First shot down onto the Marine, attacking the SCV. Going to try to use this Vulture to help target down those shields of that Zealot quickly. Bonyth doing a good job.
Yeah. He can't build the bunker right now, so this is not too bad. He's like maybe getting this SCV as long as he doesn't take too much damage onto the HP of
good micro.
Goon. Yeah, he's only losing shields pretty much thus far and kills the Marine, so this is pretty good for Bonyth.
Second Vulture coming out to help, but another Dragoon on the way here. Mihu needs to be careful. Did not learn from the last time, man. not going to put down the bunker right away, and all of a sudden now, serious pressure from Bonyth.
Yeah, he does manage to get the Marine into that bunker, but he gets the Vulture. This is beautiful play from Bonyth, and that Dragoon is still alive. He's going to charge onto it. He knows the Marine's going to target only the high HP Dragoon, because without 2 Marines, it can't spread its fire in the bunker to the other Dragoon because it's too far away. This is beautiful play from Bonyth, squeezing out as much orange of the juice as he can to slow down Mihu in the early games, exactly the way he wants to be playing game number 1.
Yes, and here we go. Simple standard from Bonyth here, 2-gate robo, and he's feeling good. He sniped 2 vultures, so he knows there's going to be no mines really on the map right now. Right. He can kind of sit back, just power up on probes, and just get himself going. Really well done from him so far.
Yeah, this is a great start, and the first 5 minutes of any StarCraft game is the most important. Plenty of S-rank players will tell you that. If he can get these kind of openings against a Mihu going forward, he will be able to avoid the sort of like 4-1 situation that could happen here if he lets Mihu just do what he wants to do and let his macro go crazy, because Bonyth's not quite able to keep up with Mihu in the later phases of the game with those macro cycles. So if he can disrupt him early like this and interfere with the ebb and flow that Mihu wants to establish, he might just be able to win.
Absolutely, and we see Mihu making more Marines. It seems like he's still going to want to push out, which is always interesting, but it seems like Mihu likes to stick to these timings, make sure he's keeping the other player honest. But we see Bonyth putting down in robotics, and with the 2 gateways, he should have enough goons to clear anything, because he didn't lose the goons before. He should be totally fine here.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. I wonder if Mihu's gonna really respect Bonyth and just go straight into 5-6 factory push, just expecting the Reaver and wanting to just get things underway and kind of re-secure the tempo right off the bat. But I'm not so sure. Maybe he's a little bit hesitant after that initial aggression from Bonyth. I mean, he can't really do much right now. He's just, sending out an SCV kind of tentatively out on the map. No ability to, send out mines and, slow down the expansion timings of Bonyth, who's taking a 3rd base now.
Yeah, he might see 4 Dragoons here and think about, oh man, this guy skips up. So it may trigger Mihu to try to release pressure. So
like a 5-tank push or something?
Yeah, oh my goodness, this guy's cutting. He doesn't have it, so I love all these tips coming in. I love that. Keep the train going here. Keep supporting BSL. We love that. Keep it going.
Yeah, we appreciate all of your support, guys. Please keep that coming in as the games progress. This is a super exciting series. Observer now making its way downtown. There's not a big ring currently set up of turrets, so it's going to get in here and see what's what. No 3rd factory on the way just yet, so there's a bit of a tech-heavy build so far from me here.
I know. But here we go with Bonyth. This is going to be all right. A lot of Bond support in the chat too. A lot of Bond support. We love that. Let's go Bonyth. Got to fight for him as well. And here it is. We talked about a 5-tank push coming out here from Mihu, but Bonyth has a lot of Dragoons and a Reaver with 2 Zealots. I think he's going to be able to fend this off. And Mihu saying, you know what? I'm not sure I want any part of that.
Yeah, he's got to be careful as well. He doesn't want to get this army isolated. If Bonyth can track this down and keep him from getting back home safely with this army as well, that could spell disaster. Needs to maybe use this high ground against Bonyth so the Dragoons can't come down and support this. More and more vultures rallying to lay down mines in the wake of this, just to make sure no shenanigans do occur.
Yeah, Bonyth sees it all. He's feeling fine, right? He's like, all right, I see it. I recognize it. There go the vultures. I see the tanks. Oh, he's got to be... All right, takes out a bunch of Marines.
That's mostly
anti-air. Well done from him. Yep, all the anti-air down now. He can kind of fly around. I'm assuming we're going to see a speed shot. Okay, these cannot sneak in on Bonyth. He needs to move his Dragoons. Oh, my goodness.
Well, luckily he's done proper things with the probe transfer, right? Because sometimes the probe transfer had already been down here, and he does manage to block back at home with that pylon. Nicely done from Bonyth, avoiding disaster. Now can start to box in a few of these vultures and maybe pick these off.
I was to say, I think the Reaver's trying to get in, but there's really not much space for Mihu for Bonyth to get in. Mihu's locked it up pretty good here. These vultures going to get caught, getting no damage. The only thing they've done is delayed the transfer, so a little bit of eco damage, but not the worst. Oh, might get that probe.
Yeah. Do you think this will become do you think this is becoming a bit of a meta with Protoss players maybe delaying the probe transfer to the third, just because Terran's always trying to abuse that timing window?
I don't know if they'll delay more. I think they're just going to have to be a little bit better with the pylon walls and making sure you're blocking, right? Oh my goodness. Oh no. Bonyth did not clear this one vulture. Now it's finally finding some value. All right, not too much value. Got one more probe after that.
Yeah.
And Mihu, man, Is this the Mihu of old? We see 4 factories and him moving on to the map.
Yeah, I mean, 4 factories does kind of like smell like aggression, and he churned out quite a lot of units already. Does smell like he wants to challenge this 3rd base, but also making turrets up here at this 3 base pocket. 5 factory. Okay, so we're going to be seeing that sort of, old Mihu style, getting us a big ton of gateways, big ton of factories to keep up with the gateway count, and then also transition into the 3rd base while attacking. But so far, Bonyth has done such a good job of defending. I don't actually think that Mihu can apply nearly the same kind of pressure he wants to, but maybe he has enough in the meat on the bone to go for it now.
I like that I like that Bonyth's using the high ground here, but he needs to get his Reavers up here, man, because here comes Mihu coming up, trying to siege onto this high ground. Bonyth, microing back, needs to get this group of Dragoons, and be very careful with this Reaver. All right, he only loses 1 Dragoon there, but Mihu has the high ground here, son.
This is a great spread of tanks as well. Look how cautious he's being and like how structured this push is. Needs to be careful with this unsiege though. If he gets too cocky with his unsiege and resiege, now Bonyth can maybe come in and challenge this. Good target firing with the Scarab onto that top tank and the 2nd tank with Dragoons. Has 2 big connections with that Reavers. Such a good shot from Bonyth. He's making it look easy thus far. Can he keep these Reavers alive? And he's shutting down the mines. Another beautiful connections with those Reavers. Is this Bonyth or Snow? What are we seeing right now?
This is crazy, man. He's going to absolutely hold this army off, and Mihu going to be pushed back. No 3rd command center going. Only on 5 factories here. Going to have to make a lot of units, but Bonyth absolutely clearing all of this out. The 3rd command center just goes down, but so does Bonyth's 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see some Stargates get dropped somewhere on the map.
Yeah, this is really great for Bonyth. Everything is going his way. The Vulture raiding party could be coming over here and being a little bit annoying, but this won't really add up to much. Maybe he can squeeze in there and do some damage to the pro, but he actually thinks better of it. He knows he needs to keep these Vultures alive. He can't risk losing these. He hasn't got a lot of units right now. 102 supply, 106 supply to about 90. Looks okay for Mihu, but honestly, the trades have gone really bad. He's lost his tank count so many times now. He can't really keep up with Bonyth at the moment. He has to restabilize, get this 3rd, and that gives a lot of breathing room for Bonyth to do what he wants.
Yeah, here we go. Ooh, Scarab from downtown only does a little bit for the splash, but if you're Bonyth, you're feeling really good right now, right? Like, you've crushed the siege tank count. You've held these Vultures back a ton. You are feeling good. I don't know if we're going to see Carrier Bonyth here. We might just see Gateway Man Bonyth thinking, all right, I know you got to push out. I might just try to bust you. So not like his style all the time. He usually goes into late game tech.
Yeah, I'm really curious how this game's going to pan out, because Bonyth is going to have a monstrous macro going into the mid-late game phase, and Mihu
Robo, who is this?
Oh, I like this. This is exactly the kind of adjustments I would like to see. This is more like best style, and this might be just what he needs to counter Mihu, and Mihu won't necessarily expect this. He might expect the traditional sort of carrier stubborn approach from Bonyth. If Bonyth can play a lot more flexible, this might really throw off Mihu.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably not the Bonyth Mihu was expecting. Usually we see Carrier Man getting crazy, but no, we're seeing Shuttle Man coming in here.
Oh, he got it. He saved it.
He did it. No damage. He's like, all right, come on, bring this
Snow right now. This is Snow today. This is crazy. How much money did Bonyth have to pay Snow to play for him? Please tell me.
I don't know. Probably a lot, because this is crazy, man. His Reavers are just on point today. Bond's micro with his Reavers are always phenomenal, but today he's stepping it up.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. You usually see Snow also using the Reaver to detonate mines intentionally. Bonyth, though, able to also do the same in that instance. Looking really stable right now with these 4 bases churning away 170 supplied to 126. We do see the 7 factory finally being added on from Mihu to set up and taking this 4th base, but I don't know. I'm liking the ebb and flow of Bonyth a little bit more than Mihu right now.
Absolutely. I think Bonyth's in a good spot here. 4 bases, just making a ton of units. I mean, he's up 40 supply. Mihu, no upgrade yet here. And while Bonyth with his double forge going, man, Mihu really behind in terms of upgrades this game. I mean, 0-0 at 1330. Right. My goodness, we might see Bonyth, if he can recognize that and gets 2-1, that is a huge power spike for Protoss against Terran. If he can get that going and absolutely fight with the maxed out army and get some drops going, I think he might be able to bust Mihu.
I think you're right. Yeah, this is the biggest weakness of the style that Mihu is doing, is that you're a lot later in your tech and your grades. So 2-1 usually finishing up around that 13:30 mark. Now not going to be finishing up until closer to 15 minutes. Really slow on those upgrades will help Bonyth trade more and more cost efficiently going into the mid-late game phase. And with 2 robos, he can make so many speed shuttles. We have poor man recalls into the main base soon. Look, he's only 2 turrets.
Oh my goodness, this is going to pull Mihu out of position. This might be the move that Bonds is waiting for. If he can drop in the back of the base and then just make Mihu unsiege and come save his base, he might be able to bust the front. Here we go, big drops, no mines, nothing. Oh my goodness, Storm, a little bit of a whiff. That one's better on the Goliath, trying to get these shuttles, but that's not the threat right now. Son, the shuttles are not the threat. SCV's going down. Bonyth causing havoc in Mihu's main.
Yeah, and he's also starting to get on top of these supply depots. He has to clear these units out. If he starts to get supply blocked, it will be annoying. And just the fact that he has to come in here to the main base and clean this up is so frustrating. He's smart enough to only use a few units to do it. He doesn't want to completely abandon his other locations, or Bonyth would see the opportunity to counterattack. And opening up this position to more drops in the future is just super annoying for Mihu.
And these Zelos are trading phenomenal. The weaker upgrades of the Terran. He is getting units after units. And here goes Bonyth again for another drop. Gonna hit the 3rd base. There were so many SCV transfers. Mihu on it already.
Yeah, he sees it with the floating command center, so has a really good premature pull on those SCVs. Still manages to find a few SCV kills, and he's still being annoying, pulling the army to and fro while he's trying to establish this 4th base. Bonyth is already on it in the bottom left corner of the map, setting up another base down there, getting another rally point going eventually maybe. This could be just what he needs to keep his macro engine flowing and keeping up with the macro engine of Mihu.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to need the gateway farm here in the bottom left as well to really just secure this game a little bit more, because Mihu is getting his 4th up, so he's going to be mining for a long time with that 3rd and 4th, which is what Terra needs as the game goes on here. The question is, how is Bonyth going to break him? It'd be amazing if he were able to drop right on those armories that are not even spinning right now and take those out.
It's crazy that Bonyth is actually ahead in upgrades. We've got 2-1 upgrades for our Polish Bonyth here, the Protoss player. Absolutely monstrous. Ahead of Mihu, who's currently sitting on 1-1, not even spinning. Neither is Bonyth, but it's actually pretty good game state for Bonyth to handle. As long as he can avoid a frontal engagement that doesn't go his way, he's sitting pretty. Just needs to get this bottom left quadrant going. Getting some rally point gateways going up down there would be huge. We see Mihu constantly trying to think about mining up the map down there to make it harder to transfer units fluently around in the middle. Looks like Bonyth's gearing up to attack, though.
Bonyth's going to be going in here from the side, trying to break into this 4th base, which I think is a fantastic idea. If he can get some of these Terran units to funnel in the middle here and get some big storms, that would be massive for him. Any trades at this point when you have a 5K, 3K bank is good for Bonyth, even if it's a little bit ineffective, as long as he's trading units. That first storm, a little bit of a miss from Bonyth, but what does Mihu have here? He's going to have to move his army. This command center being lifted up right now. Big storm on those vultures. Having to bring tanks down.
I mean, there's not many tank deaths, so that's the only problem here.
Man.
Yes, please storm some of these units. I mean, he's not getting quite the trades that he needs. Supply is currently even. If he can maybe get some of these tanks here, it would be a decent compensation. If he can get at least 2 or 3 of these tanks, that's what we need to really start to get things going. He's not quite getting enough of these tanks. Maybe, okay, that's at least something, 2 of those tanks to help pay the price for this attack. He is denying mining for a long time here and really slowing down Mihu while getting this base set up down here. Needs to start adding gateways immediately, though.
Yes, he needs gateways to be added, because the big thing right now is the bank, right? If he can keep trading army for army and just drowning Mihu out, Mihu will be broke. If he can make him just run out of money, he will be in great shape here, because we see the main pretty much mined out. The natural, pretty much mined out. So right now it's going to be 2 base Terran, but if he can keep trading and forcing lifts, Mihu will not be able to continue to replenish his army.
Right, and we do see those gateways starting to come online now. He's got 3 so far.
Oh, man. Big shuttles right here, Zun. Here we go. We're going to go for a drop of the main. He knows he's pulling units.
I mean, this is a nice big pull, man.
Mihu's going to see it, but what's he going to do?
It's like 2 turrets again. I think this is going to do a lot of damage, Raz. I mean, there's not any like SCVs to kill, but it doesn't matter. The infrastructure, there's so many supply depots as well. This could be really annoying for Mihu to clean up.
Yeah, my goodness. Here we go. Trying to pull vultures back, trying to snipe Templar, but doesn't even matter because you have to deal with all these zealots here. Does he have 2 Templar in here? Will he be? Yes, he does. Can he get, all right, we get some SCVs, not a ton. We're gonna get the SCVs with the gas. My goodness, Bonyth pulling Mihu apart here. His main base just getting torched. Academy down, Command Center getting targeted. Bonyth just going insane, man.
I mean, this is being super annoying. That scanner's on fire, so if Mihu doesn't repair that, that's going to burn down. Armory, the Academy's dead, so we can't replace it. That's less scans, and scan is super important. You need your map hackers, Terran, in this phase of the game, and constantly identify where the Protoss army is and what's going on. Like, you hear the scans going off now. It's super important to constantly be scanning the Protoss player, both his tech tree and the transitions, and where the army is. Coming for another drop here at the top right corner with these 2 shuttles, barely getting in there with that shuttle, 6 HP, trying to get this other base and do some damage down here.
Oh my god. His gas burnt down before it's done. He's not mining gas from that 3rd base. That is massive.
That's
my
huge.
goodness, Mihu is totally just tapped on the whole gas, and Bonyth taking out more. It is no Academy, so he won't be able to replenish that. Oh no, he's going to fly into the...
He could go DTs. He could go DTs right now and be super annoying. If he kills all the scanners and he can't even make any more, and there's no science vessels, he could be so annoying with DTs.
Oh my goodness!
Huge Shining Storms as well. Bonyth is playing crazy, Raz.
Yeah, Bonyth is just going nuts, man. He is just shocking all of us right now. Usually we see this man play late game carries. He said, no, double robo, I'm going with the meta. I'm not going to show him what he thinks I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I need to do. And he has a massive bank. He's on so many bases. Mihu's stretched super thin, only on 1-1 still. And Bonyth looking to end this game by attacking up this ramp and clearing Big Storm number 1, Big Storm number 2. Oh my goodness.
He's hammering on the gates right now. It's really crazy impressive. Rally point of units coming in. Another streamline of Zealots. Just wants to trade off as many tanks as possible. It doesn't even matter if he eventually loses the fight. Just wants to get rid of as many of the gas units of Mihu as possible. He's so far ahead in the bank. Eventually, he will be able to cripple Mihu in a war of attrition. He's doing a great job of it thus far.
Absolutely. He's got to know he is broke. I mean, look at this bank, man. 7K, 3.5K. I mean, Mihu definitely being pulled apart, not retaking his gas, doesn't recognize it. He has no money. Bonyth doing what he needs to do to get this first win.
Yeah, this is a great situation to be in as Bonyth. Not only winning the game number 1, but winning it in a late game scenario will be the great confidence going forward for Bonyth in this series. I'm super stoked for him. He might just be able to do it here and go all the way.
I mean, this is not what we expected to see from Bonyth today. He's definitely been practicing off stream, getting himself ready for this matchup here, and it is paying off because you can see that Mihu having a hard time right now to deal with Bonyth's macro.
It seems like he's been able to keep away from games like League of Legends or Path of Exile 2 and has managed to put in just enough practice hours, and he's looking like a real Chad Protoss right now. Really impressive stuff. Coming in again on this 12 o'clock base with more and more shuttles. Just get the high temp around, do some storms. Pretty good storm on the exit. That's huge. The SCVs will become weaker and weaker, so the follow-up storms will also kill them easier and easier as they get lower in HP. Much more easier on the successive storm attempts as well. Crippling the Terran economy continuously like this will eventually run Mihu dry.
Yeah, and he needs to make sure Mihu doesn't secure this base. That could prolong the game and get Mihu back into it. If he can secure another base and another gas, that's a problem. The only thing is, if you're Mihu, how do you hold both these 2 locations? How do you hold top right and bottom right? I don't think it's possible. I think he's stretched too thin. Bonyth needs to just continue the onslaught, continue pressuring, and just break Mihu now.
Yeah, this is what you want to do. You want to force Mihu into the Roman Empire, stretch himself too thin, and then break apart one location. Coming in here again with the 2 shuttle.
Go. Ooh. Decent storm there. Oh, Mihu with the jukes. Oh, not enough jukes because there's just lightning everywhere.
I mean, this is still pretty devastating damage. 161 supply to almost a maxed out Bonyth. I think Mihu is drying up, but being able to secure this base in the bottom right is a big deal for him. Now that he's got this pocket under control, Mihu's still in this game. It's kind of like TVT. Like, if you let them get one more base, they're in the game for another 10-20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Bonyth doesn't seem to know about bottom right, which is really the problem, right? He needs to... Oh my goodness, here we go. We're attacking in the front. Shuttles dropping right on top of the tank. Can Bonyth bust through? He takes out a science vessel. Any of these gas unit kills are big.
I mean, the upgrades are starting to come online for Mihu slowly but surely. Now we got the 2-2 upgrades and still a little bit of delay on this 3-3 though. Bonyth's been ahead 3-2 for Bonyth inversely. If he can somehow find the connections with this Sonic Storm, would be great. A little bit of a lackluster performance in the center of the board just at the moment. Needs to be careful not to let Mihu get some free snipes like this. It's really cost ineffective to let Vultures come in and clean this. Comes in again with another shuttle drop in the top right though. More and more SCVs buying the stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So many SCVs are falling, Reds.
Oh my goodness, the mines just absolutely crushed those SCVs that were hurt. They splashed all over them and they went down. Mihu, we see his supply just dropped like 20. That was all in SCVs.
Yeah. I mean, this is, even though he has secured this base down here, doesn't mean that Mihu's out of the woods. He is taking a lot of crippling damage. We can see the rest of the base is not too well saturated, although it does also mean that even though Mihu doesn't have a huge supply, he has still got a relatively large army also, so Bonyth can't risk too many. He's coming in here again, just relentless with these double shuttle attempts. Look at these beautiful dodges with those SCVs, though. So far, Mihu avoiding complete critical damage, but slowly but surely, Bonyth is crushed. Oh! That splash damage killed like 5 SCVs.
That's what he's doing. Bonyth was running that SCV, or running that Zealot into the SCV and looking for the fire from the siege tank. He's doing it right now, son. He is taking care of business.
Yeah, he is doing it. And this is the thing, even though you are dodging like a god with your SCVs, the storms are still doing damage over time, and they get the SCVs so low that the tank splash and the residual storm attempts from the future efforts will kill them easier and easier. And now Bonyth's looking at much more commanding position, suddenly maxed and wants to trade off more of his army, trying to poke into this deep defended pocket, realizes maybe that's a little bit too crazy and needs to bring more of his forces to bear first.
Yeah. Bonyth needs to get this bottom right location busted, because if Mihu can sit on 3 bases, the game continues on, right? Like, he needs to break this position. He's maxed out, but we decide we're going for the middle again. We're going to try to break here, and let's see what he can get done.
Yeah, it's a good defensive matrix, but he needs some beautiful storms right now. Looking like he's maybe able to bust this. Good.
He's done it, son. He's done it.
Look at these storms at the bottom.
Unbelievable here from Bonyth, busting through the middle of the map. Mihu's supply has dropped down to 110. It seems like Bonyth has busted this high ground. Now he can cut off reinforcements to this bottom right and break this position. He can leave his goons and Templars here, re-up with all the Zealots, and just get himself going forward. Bonyth putting on a masterclass display here.
This is 3-1-3 upgrade Protoss versus 2-2 Terran, so he's just chewing through the mech way easier than usual, and Mihu having a hard time of it, trying to throw down these preemptive D-matrixes to deal with the storms that are just unrelenting from Bonyth, starting to bat him back. But look at their supplies, 127 to 190, and the bank as well. Spells disaster for Mihu. The war of attrition, the longer this drags on, the worse it will be. I don't think Mihu's going to be able to build up enough tank. And look at all these High Templars. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think we may have we have too many High Templar. I think we need to start mixing some Zealots in here, because that's what we need to drop onto all these units. But here we go. Bonyth recognizing he needs to break this location. Here we go. 3 shuttles flying in now.
Yeah, a lot of mines.
A lot of mines. Can he get a good storm here?
Oh. I mean, the SCV train gets out, but I mean, this is still pretty good for Bonyth. Denying mining is even just good enough. Killing some SCVs is huge at this stage in the game. So hard for Mihu to keep up with everything. 130 supply to 100, almost maxed out Bonyth. Every trade is a good trade right now. Like in chess, just trading pieces off the board when you're ahead simplifies the game state and win condition.
Yeah, he just needs to really figure out which location he's going to bust. He needs to break this. I know he has a huge bank, but eventually that will dry. He's starting to be down to 3 bases himself. He needs to actually go for the winning shot here. He needs to bust either bottom right or top right. But he keeps attacking up on this high ground. So let's see what he can do this time.
Well, he can. I mean, a good Protoss player will try and pull the Terran around, but so far he's just hammering on the gates relentlessly, like best right now. They've been trying to take a page from his book. Beautiful bombs on these tanks, but not quite getting the mine detonations. Most of the tanks are dying, though. He is still breaking through. Beautiful storms as well to follow that up. He is still trading off these tanks critically. He is still accomplishing his goals.
Yeah, my goodness, we have so many Templar here, which is great, but we need to, I think we need some more Zealots, man, to start dropping on top of these tanks and causing some splash. Another tank going down. I mean, Bonyth is still trading very effectively and breaking this position, but he's got to cut the mining off here for Mihu in the bottom right. That is going to be key.
Right. I mean, even though it's not necessarily a clean trade here from Bonyth, honestly, this is still great. Like, and honestly, he's making Mihu look a tiny bit silly. Like, Mihu doesn't have the same kind of aura about him. It seems like Bonyth is just not scared at all of this monster of a man, and is able to be a beast of his own in this game, and showing that his late game macro prowess is as strong.
Yeah, Bonyth very impressive so far. He's been maxed out pretty much the entire time. Now he just needs to find where he can finally get the kill. All right, here we go. We're flying back up top right, trying to get some more kills on these SCVs. Can he? Good dodging there from Mihu.
He's been dodging fantastically this entire game. It's just that Bonyth is so relentless that he's still finding the damage. And like we keep saying, even though you are dodging the storms, you keep taking damage over time. Eventually, the SCVs will be super easy to kill, and they'll die even if you do dodge well with them.
Yeah, Bonyth's Spank starting to go down a bit. It was at 6K, 3.5 or 4K. He is mining now from the 3 bases, but he needs to be careful. Can he get another one? Oh, good storm on those vultures.
Yeah.
Now he can go hide the shuttle over here.
He wants to utilize this dead space more, I think. Like, he just get the shuttle up in this dead space and keep coming back in and get a little bit more juice out of the High Templars.
I'll be honest, I think this is the location he needs to focus on. He needs to get all of his shuttles.
Down here.
Fly down here. Kill this. He has so many shuttles, right? Like, I mean, we have a lot of supply in shuttles, though. Right? Now we have 16 supply in shuttles. Oh, my goodness. Bonyth's back, baby. Carriers on the way.
There's the branding that you guys have been waiting for. He's still going to be getting those carriers to help him close out the deal. And also, you look like he's hearing you, Raz, because suddenly we see the mobilization of the army. The point is that a good Terran player will keep scanning for these movements and keep his army as fluid as possible and move his forces back and forth if he can.
Bonyth going for it. Finally, he knows he needs this location. Dropping directly on top of those siege tanks. Can he drag some mines? He does. Oh my goodness. I think Mihu sniped one of those mines. That's insane. Here we go. He's finally busted this position. Storm's going down. It looks like Bonyth is finally going to break this bottom right location. Mihu unsieging, trying to move his tanks from the high ground. SCV is running. Big storm from Bonyth on this trip. Oh my goodness. Can he get the command center too? This is triggering Mihu to move.
Yeah.
Finally, Mihu is going to go across the map to Bonyth's side.
There's now going to be
it's too little too late.
Yeah, there's the Gambit now being taken onto his high ground. Maybe he can launch assaults onto these bases at the bottom, but I mean, he's really mined out this location already. This is the base maybe he can hit at 6 o'clock to slow down Bonyth, but it might not be enough. He needs to shut down the rally point and get on top of the production and kill that, but it's going to be very difficult for Mihu to accomplish right now with only 133 supply. Bonyth looks like he's done it now that he's shut Mihu out from mining at this base.
Yeah, Bonyth, he is just playing so well right now. And the real problem for Mihu is going to be when he sees that there are a bunch of carriers that fly in soon because he does not have the gas. Oh my God, storm again, Bonyth. Yes, well done. Goodbye, 3 tanks. See you later. Vultures, goodbye. All of these trades just favoring Bonyth more and more and more.
I mean, imagine being Bonyth right now playing this good against someone of Mihu's caliber. Like, props to him, man. This is spectacular stuff in game number 1. I'm super hyped for this guy.
My goodness, Bonyth needs more shuttles. Frequent flyer miles are going through the roof for him.
There's so many shuttles, man. There must be like a control group of shuttles now. That's insane.
It's crazy.
DT's finally.
DTs are out. Oh my goodness, another drop coming in here. Top right. Big storm there, another big storm there. Oh my goodness. Mihu looking up there saying, what happened to my SCVs? Why is my mineral not climbing? Well, you aren't mining, my friend, so that's a problem.
This is a big problem. I don't think any flex tape is going to save him. 107 supply to 190 with a bank still, mind you. Doesn't mind losing this Nexus because that base is more or less mined out. He took that one first. He is going to dive on top of these tanks. Beautiful storms on top of those. Even if he doesn't clean up this entire army, as long as he just kills most of it and keeps trading out at like a 30-40% efficiency rating, he still will win out on the trades in the long run.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Bonyth to just start flying those shuttles around over Mihu's army to taunt him a little bit, you know? But Bonyth maxed out, mining now only on 1 base. is probably just doesn't want to. He wants to make sure he doesn't do anything silly here, right? He's all of his money. He knows Mihu's barely mining, but it's 200 supply versus 95. Bonyth just needs to gather his army all together here and just finish this game. Don't keep fighting in these small waves and losing any more units. Soon he's not going to have the money to trade out, even ineffectively.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only a handful of Goliath that he can even afford to make right now, so I'm sure the carriers will do their job. Still keeping the pressure on. Look at these beautiful storm drops, non-stop on storm drops on that base.
More storm! One more storm!
Come on, come on.
Oh, doesn't matter. He's not mining. Where are these carriers? We need them to fly across the map. They're in his main base. CCs are lifted. We have 4 carriers.
I mean, this is like 2.5 times the supply of Mihu right now, 70 to 184. Like, this is a crazy late game state that Bonyth has been able to navigate himself into. Mihu just will not be able to produce enough Goliaths to fight off these carriers.
One of those games where you stay in his Terran, and then the carriers appear, and then you GG out.
Pretty much.
Ready, here it is, and
please.
There are the scans trying to see the map. Mihu knows it. GG. There it is.
Yeah, you can't really do anything about that. Even if you make non-stop Goliaths, you then can't deal with the infantry on the ground either. There's just too much of a bank in production for the Protoss player. Exceptionally well executed from Bonyth, and what a great game number 1 to start this series.
Not the Bonyth we expected to see, but a Bonyth that we want to see, where he's able to take down Mihu in these moments, right? He showed that he is not just going to be relying on Reaver Micro and carriers. He is going to play macro. He is going to get after Mihu. He's taking it to him, and that was Bonyth on the offensive all game.
Yeah, I mean, Bonyth not necessarily the hero we deserve, but certainly the one we need tonight for a great series, going up against someone of Mihu's ilk, and really impressive that you could keep up on the macro cycle with him in those late game phases after getting the ball rolling. That's a great sign of the times for the rest of this series. I'm super stoked for our Polish player.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Bonyth keeps pulling out. My concern for him is playing 30-minute games back to back to back with this style can be very taxing. So hopefully the stamina piece kicks in too, where he's like, all right, I'm good. I practice this a bunch over and over and over, but I think he'll be fine, and he takes first blood against Mihu.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the motivation to practice does come in waves. A lot of players have said, they got a few weeks of intense motivation to train, and something that goes for another few weeks. It happens to the best of us, especially in those later years. Hopefully, players like Bonyth can dig deep and find the time to grind because they're so talented. It'll be nice to keep seeing them on stage season after season as we progress in this golden era of StarCraft. Yeah,
Bonyth gonna be feeling good, but last time this is what happened first too, son. So Bonyth's probably weary about that, thinking about that as well. He needs to keep his foot on the gas. Last time he took out Mihu game 1 in Apocalypse, then Mihu ran it back 3 in a row. So I think he needs to make sure that he stays playing his style, or maybe even now that that there's more than one style, right? Mihu's got to be saying, wow, this guy didn't play Reaver Carrier. He played dropship style. So
yeah.
Now he might be able to switch back. Like now he can go in between his styles, right? And really keep Mihu guessing, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do. You do not want to let someone just know exactly what is coming and they can play their cookie cutter style and min-max to their heart's content. So this might just be enough build order obfuscation for Bonyth to keep Mihu guessing. Vermeer, though, not quite as many high ground abuse spots for Bonyth to take advantage of. Might have to respect that and commit a lot more into his forces in that mid-game to respect the power of Mihu's push timings.
Absolutely. So now we have Vermeer, which was what Mihu has been picking pretty steadily. We saw him play a crazy game against John Hoon on this map, and he played a really solid game against Bonyth. So I think this is something we'll see a standard from him, and he'll be able to try to just get to max that army and push across the map. But we'll see what he decides. Maybe he'll get crazy, go for a VBS, man.
I think both players are ready, so we're going to be going straight into game number 2 here, guys, on Vermeer.
Alrighty, and spawning in the top right down at 0 to 1, it is Mihu. And spawning in the bottom right up on the first game, it's Bonyth. Now you got to figure some of the mental that goes into the game. You're Mihu, you're down 0-1. I know last time, we got a really zoomed in picture. Look at those guys. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, neither of these players probably
very
are
focused.
I mean, they're certainly not as tilted as some of the guys are in chat from the zoom-ins from Zero, I'd imagine.
I'm sure they are not as tilted as that, but you're Mihu. You played a long series yesterday, 7 games, TVP. You didn't pull it out. You fell short. Now you're down 0-1. Sometimes that weighs on players, man. The mental parts of the game, the mental components are a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. And if somehow Bonyth wins on this map, it's going to be insane. It would be really interesting to see if Bonyth can cause a hiccup in the early game on Vermeer and really get things going. I imagine Mihu's going to 12 gas again. He wants to play nothing too crazy here. I guess Bonyth could 12 Nexus, but like we were talking about earlier, he's just not that kind of guy. He's just much more likely going to play a more mid-range style like we see here going for this gateway.
Yeah, I think we're just going to see pretty standard stuff from him. I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy. Maybe, we say that, then we have a gateway, no gas just yet.
Oh, okay. It's a little bit of a safe Nexus right. Maybe.
So I think we're going to see some double Zealot, maybe triple Zealot pressure here from Bonyth. This is a guy who went some 2 gates, 10-12 versus Terran a couple times, especially knowing that Gasless was in the meta. So he definitely has some little tricks up his sleeve, but yeah. I think we are going to see that Zealot into Nexus.
I mean, this is a good way of defending by attacking. So you just get those Zealots out early on, apply pressure to the Terran while they're busy dealing with those Zealot shenanigans. You're being a little bit sneaky and greedy back home, getting that Nexus online and denying the opportunity for them to punish that by pulling the boys because you're just being so annoying on your own end of things with those initial Zealots.
Yeah, at least Bonyth getting the first scout here should be feeling good, seeing everything, knows where his ults have to go. Mihu gonna have to probably go cross map, recognizing how fast this probe got here. But Bonyth, Bonyth does opt for gas, so I think we're going to see 2-3 Zealot into just either a 19 Nexus, or we're going to see double, triple Zealot into heavy pressure from Bonyth. I think that's where these builds are going. Okay.
Now, do you think that he was originally going to do this Nexus, then maybe changed his mind when he saw the non-cross map position, and maybe he was going to do the Nexus if it was cross map?
Well, I think he still has the option. I think that's why he's banking up setting this probe, right? You see here, you have the option when you go with the delayed gas to just make a couple Zealot, make 1 Zealot, or just go for the Nexus on the 19, which is what he's doing.
Okay. Yeah, we see that Nexus about to be thrown down on 19, right on time at 3 minutes. SCV will be confirming that for me. But now the Zealot getting 1 punch combo already on this Marine that's isolated from the pocket of defense. Might be able to get the 3rd one. Not quite.
Ooh. Oh! A lot of damage on... Oh my goodness, you already got 1.
Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh my god, this is crazy. This is insane amounts of damage. Might be able to get a couple of punches on this SCV. 2 more shots on SCV would be a kill. These 4 total combos. Can get 2 of those Marines. They're both low on HP. Gets one of them. This is crazy from Bonyth.
Oh my goodness, 3 Marines already. Mihu cannot be happy. This is disaster already. 3 Marines, got to make a 4th, maybe a 5th, and the Vulture. All for 1 Zealot. His command center is extremely delayed. We see that Mihu automatically puts an add-on. He may go for it here. If he knows that his 19 Nexus with no range right now, oh my goodness, we're still mining gas. I don't know if this is an error or what's going on, if we're just going to see...
Why has he got 3 SCVs on that depot? What is going on with Mihu? He's got 3 SCVs on the depot as well. Is he falling apart a little bit? What's going on?
I think Mihu very frustrated. We got 3 SCVs not mining at all. Bonyth really wreaking some havoc and causing him some trouble.
I don't know what's going on with Mihu right now. He's going to try and get in here with the Vulture. 1 probe goes down. Bonyth can block this Vulture from getting into the main base, at least, on the ramp, and the Dragoon will shut that out. Does lose another probe, though. Coin flip goes Mihu's way, and that's a little bit of luck on his side. But yeah, he's finally identified those 3 SCVs. I think they were outside of the vision of his screen, and he misrallied his command center or something. He just adjusted himself in the chair, like, oh god, what did I just do? I misrallied my command center. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I think he just, oh my goodness, Citadel of Adun. Bonyth about to pull out some DTs here. I wonder if it's going to be DT drop or not. It is. So Bonyth, man, pulling out all the stops. Love this. Mihu, I agree with you. Adjusting himself in the chair, really kind of sighing a little bit. I think that he is feeling the pressure a little bit here, Zun.
I think so. I think so. And the 2 Dragoons are now starting to chip away at the HP pools of those Marines, already killing 1, already killing 2. This is looking a little bit dicey for Mihu. He needs to run back with his tail between his legs and maybe even consider building a bunker right now. He doesn't want to waste 100 minerals on a bunker, so he's going to do everything he can to push out with these mines, the tank and Marines, to avoid having to make any kind of investment like that.
Oh, man. I mean, I don't think that Mihu's gonna have any idea this is coming. He sees range. He sees, you know, that Bonyth took a 19 Nexus, not expecting this, and I think it might get away with it.
Maybe. Can you imagine, like, if Bonyth somehow wins on this map, Mihu's tilted a little bit. We could be seeing fireworks in this series. Okay, the engineering bay is coming, so I mean that does give a little bit of hope for Mihu. The 3 tech choices of Terran, obviously, that Academy, Armory, and Engineering Bay, and the most important thing is what order you take those things in based on what you've been able to glean from your scouting information, and usually you take that Engineering Bay to be safe if you don't have total information.
Yeah, we see the mines go down, but I don't know if that's going to save him. I think he may be in trouble here. I just heard something get loaded up, so I'm assuming these DTs are in this shuttle. Bonyth may fly over a mine here, but if there's no turret near the command center, Zun, no turret, he doesn't see it.
He went around the mine. He knew that the mine was most likely to be at that location, so he kind of like edged around the circle. He will see it with the engineering bay. Tanks on siege in position.
Just fly by, Bonyth. Don't drop. Keep going.
Ooh, there is a mine there. Maybe he can get a drag. Needs to be careful with those DTs. Gets a cancel immediately on that turret.
Oh my goodness.
This is crazy.
This is going to be massive damage here. Trying to bug out with the SCVs. He's going to pick it back up to get back on the turret on the other side. Oh my goodness! He gets the turret!
Okay, this is pretty good from Mihu. He's avoiding complete disaster with his army. It's a little bit of missed opportunity from Bonyth, and suddenly Mihu stabilized. He couldn't get the kill on the SCV building that, and he did a great job of surrounding the turret with the SCV, so he couldn't manage to get a target fired down on that, and suddenly Mihu stabilizing against a little bit of a cheese coming Bonyth's way, while he's trying to get his own expansion up now at 8 minutes. So 8 minutes is a little bit slow, so suddenly Mihu looking a lot more strong.
Yeah, this is... very, very unfortunate for Bonyth there. Mihu able to make an incredible SCV drill and absolutely bug out those DTs, and that's going to keep him on pace. We may see Mihu just add factories and go for it here, knowing that Bonyth was heavily invested in this.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time to recover for Bonyth as well. He's a little bit slower in the curves. He has 6 probes that have been manufactured from that Nexus before he's sending them to mine. It's kind of funny just how much he prioritizes his production cycles over his task switching. It is what it is. It is a little bit slow with this 3rd base timing. 4th factory already on the way. Can't quite afford that 5th factory, but it doesn't matter. He wants to get as much units out as possible to try and punish Bonyth.
Yeah, right now, Bonyth probably, I would imagine he's going to want to add a Stargate pretty quickly here for a fast Arbiter.
Arbiter could be good.
But no, we're back. Now we're going Reaver. The DT's failed, so you know what? Reaver.
I mean, 11-minute stasis. 11-minute stasis might have been a little bit slow, but not necessarily a bad choice here from Bonyth. But the Reaver play also can slow him down. We already have the Templar tech, so the Arbiter will make sense, and it looks like he will be lining up for that. But using the Reaver to slow down and transition into that, which is important because Mihu's going to apply a lot of pressure to Bonyth, not allow him just to skirt into Arbiters for free.
Yeah, 3rd command center, so may just be some posturing here from Mihu. We'll see what he decides. Oh, that was like the instant scan. He saw that blur so quickly. My goodness.
Using the Alien versus Predator film, like he's not getting surprised at all. You know, he sees the telltale shimmer and he's on it.
My goodness. Really fast scans, really fast siege and unsiege. And Mihu backing up. I'm surprised here. He kills the 2 DTs. You know, he has no scans, so maybe he's nervous. Bonyth getting right into High Templar here, so I think we're going to see speed shuttles again with High Templar Reaver.
Yeah, thank you for that big tip as well, Rafa. Appreciate your support. This is actually a wild series we're seeing here today. I'm a little bit concerned for Bonyth. He didn't quite have as easy of time of it as we thought he would with those initial DT drop, but he's still got a nice playable game state here. Mihu finally trying to snake his army forward to secure his own third base. Bonyth was a little bit slow in his, taking it at 8 minutes rather than closer to like a 6 or a 7 minute marker. Mihu not able to get in here and do any probe damage at least though.
Yeah, right now, oh, there we go. There's the Stargate going up the high tech. I will say Bonyth's tech tree is pretty much complete, right? We got Reavers, we got Templar, we got soon to be a Stargate and some Arbiters. So he will have a strong mid-game army here to fight.
Yeah, well, this is the advantage of going for that DT play, is you do kind of line yourself up so nicely for that late game tech with Storm and Arbiter at your disposal. Pure utility for Bonyth. Just needs to make sure he can now catch up in his economy curve and keep up with the ebb and flow that Mihu's going to be able to churn out. He did do a little bit of indirect damage though. Even though those DTs didn't necessarily kill a lot of SCVs, he did force a lot of lost mining during all of that. So maybe slowing down Mihu just barely enough that he couldn't do a massive push with 5 or so factories.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Mihu go up to about 7 to 9, maybe even 10 factories in the second here. He's already added on. He's up to 7 already. I think we're going to see more here from him being on 3 base, 3 gas, exactly where he wants to be. Bonyth taking his 4th. You know, Bonyth will have, like I said, a strong army to fight with in this mid to late game because of the AoE. Reaver, Storm, Stasis. If he were to be able to stop this first army from Mihu, he would put himself in just a phenomenal position, but that's a big if, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's going to be on 4 bases, then you must win the fight. It's not like you can start to play refugee on 4 bases.
Right, but I mean, he is going to have that sort of like 13-minute stasis timing to really like sandbag anything Mihu wants to do. Maybe with the Arbiter utility, he can just do this. And I guess the worrying thing would usually be that Mihu could expand towards him while attacking. But on this map, it's actually a lot harder for Mihu to take this 3 o'clock base while attacking. So that's not as much of a factor as it usually would be. So with this high ground just above that, makes it a little bit trickier. Pretty good skirmishing for Bonyth. But wants to be careful not to bleed off too many of these Dragoons because the supplies are dangerously close. Just one small misstep from Bonyth will trigger an attack.
Absolutely. I'm waiting to see when these speed shuttles are going to start flying some of these high Templar around. I think that Bonyth doesn't want to waste any of the units yet. I think he's really using it to want to fight. I don't think he is looking to just get so much harassment done. He knows he needs his army, needs everything together.
Right, you should have the energy for status around about 13 minutes 30 here, and also Mihu anticipates that. We see a vessel, I imagine, with EMP on the way as well, so we can kind of see some mini games of EMPing and avoiding that. Sometimes you just see like a stasis on the science vessel before he can get the EMP off, so they kind of trade spells. It happens a lot. Coming down here in this bottom left quadrant, if somehow Bonyth can set up a rally point down here uncontested, that would be huge, but I doubt Mihu's going to let that happen. He's going to start to move out soon.
Absolutely. We're getting to that point where he's almost 2-1. Probably wants to fight around then. His army is pretty big right now, but the longer he waits here, and I know he wants these upgrades in max, but Bonyth's probably going to have the second Arbiter, and he's going to have 2 to 3 stasis. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. He is double expanding the bottom left, so Bonyth's done a really good job really stabilizing after some of the craziness of that opening game where he went DT drop.
Yeah, I mean, so far Mihu's just relying on raiding parties with these vultures. There's only 2 Dragoons down here, so maybe they'll be successful. There's like a whole control group of vultures. Needs to be careful not to lose these vultures and get them caught, though. You do not want to let those vultures get caught, and we can see the zoom in on that cybernetics core. It is going to be a potential carrier transition, or at very least a carrier mind game from Bonyth in case he scans the main base.
Yeah, I think that's a really good call from him. A lot of times you go for 1, 2 Arbiters and go into carrier. It's really just a good way to kind of keep the Terran guessing a little bit, make sure that they're being honest, forcing more gas out, right? Like forcing the Goliath switch. Sometimes they get comfortable, set up all this defense for Arbiters, and next thing you know, there's carriers. So yeah. I like this from Bonyth.
Yeah, and we see a lot of like little juxtaposition here. with these small skirmishes out on the map. Bonyth trying to commit as few forces as possible to defend that. Mihu trying to overcommit and also getting a little bit punished by Bonyth's response. But when all's said and done, more or less even supplies. Now pushing out onto his high ground. There is 2 Reavers. He's not paying attention. Shuttle gets taken out. Now we can isolate these 2 Reavers and pick them off. That's a pretty good pick off from Mihu, not able to slow down the Terran advancement anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal here to get the Reavers to slow it down. I'm not sure Bonyth would be super upset if he had to make a couple more High Templar and get some more Storms instead of having the Reavers at this late of the game. Oh man, he's looking for a recall.
Yeah, he's looking for it. Are we waiting for him to move out, or are we just going to go once each SCV transfers here?
Maybe we're going to let him either transfer, we're going to wait, and we're going to go. Bonyth, a little bit slow to rebuild these cannons down here, going to cause us some trouble, probably going to lose some probes. Mihu immediately mining up this area. Oh man, he must be looking for this recall. Nope, scan goes down. Gonna get some probe kills here.
Ooh, these cannons are not nearly finished. I mean, this is the problem with trying to, like, skimp on defense. Now he's losing some probes, but does do a massive Zealot recall here. Usually you see Dragoon heavy recalls, but this is almost pure Zealot. One single High Templar there, but the SCV train's not quite arrived. Could be able to target firing that High Templar down before the SCVs come in, but with this amount of Zealots here, it's actually a bit of a problem. He's going to have to pull out with these SCVs still. Woo!
Mind Drag's not what we were hoping for there for Bonyth, and pretty easily cleaned up here from Mihu.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if he got the mine detonation, but
it would have been great. I think it would have been good if he was able to get some of the SCV on the command center, but we see he really was freeing up supply. He was really just looking to free up supply for carriers, because if he can get out a whole bunch of carriers and Mihu comes across with Vulture tank, he can just start picking stuff off, you know?
Right. Well, he might risk a head-on collision with Mihu right now, who's rolling out into the center of the board with such a colossal amount of siege tanks. That's at least 2.5 control groups of siege tanks currently on attack move, sieging up, trying to secure this high ground away from Bonyth, who does some pretty good storms. And I don't know if this is going to be enough. He's going to have to run and reconsolidate. This is such a large force for Mihu that Bonyth is going to have to be a little bit fancy to slow this down.
Yeah, I think he needs to avoid this army right now. I think he needs to go around, go to the 4th base of Mihu, make him forced to pull it back. I think that's kind of where he wants to be. Oh boy, here we go. Bonyth doesn't agree. He's going in, man. Can he get the EMP?
It's really low HP. Does a preemptive damage instead.
The EMP.
He runs out. I mean, I don't know about this. He's losing a lot of units for free. Currently, Bonyth plummeting in supply to about dead even. Now Mihu smells blood in the water. The shark has been released. He's making his way downtown to the rally point of Bonyth, trying to kill these units as they're streaming out so they can't reach a critical mass to overcome the Terran metal. Maybe Mihu has started to do it here.
Yeah, I think Bonyth recognizing it's really hard to engage this army right now. Maybe he's going to try to cut off reinforcements until those carriers do get out.
Right.
I think that's not a bad play. 2 carriers are out right now. 4 carriers are out right now. Oh, we got a decent stasis there. Can we storm these vultures?
I mean, there's hope for Bonyth here. He just needs to sandbag for another minute or so, start to churn out these interceptors, get a few more carriers out. There's not a lot of Goliaths in the infantry force of Mihu, but look at the supplies. It's kind of reflective of a devastation that Bonyth's going to have to weather. I don't know if he can hold on to this. There's just so much Terran meat on the bone for him to chew off, and I don't think he's going to be able to. I think his stomach's full from that first game. He just can't quite manage it.
Yeah, I mean, tough start for this game from Bonyth. The DT drop really not getting much done. He really fought back pretty well, waiting for his carriers to get the interceptor upgrade, but we got 2-1 Terran mech in his base.
Yeah.
But he does have, you know, all bottom left mining, so he's not out of it yet, especially with the carriers. He's got 4.
Right. I mean, honestly, like, he's not really killed a whole lot right now, has Mihu. He hasn't killed even this base at the natural 3rd, so this isn't too bad for Bonyth, even though the supplies look kind of dire. If he can just keep these bases alive, keep mining, building interceptors. He's lost these 2 Stargates in the natural expansion, but still got a couple of those Stargates in the main base. Can go up to 6 carriers from that 4 still, and start to get a lot of DPS in his air fleet.
Yeah, I mean, Bonyth replenishing his army is going to be the biggest cost for him, but he can do it. Mihu still on 4 bases, taking a 5th finally, top left. But if Bonyth can get up to 6, 8 carriers right now, he should be able to get some stuff done, especially partnered with the Arbiter.
Yeah,
you know, he could get some good stasis on Goliaths. he could even go fight with the carriers at Mihu's bases and recall the carriers back to his own. We don't see it often with the mix of two, but it's really effective to have carriers all over the map. So if you can fly those things up there, kill top left, kill 12 o'clock, and then Mihu pushes across and recall all your carriers back, you put yourself in a pretty crazy position.
I mean, recalled carriers is super OP potentially. That's one of the biggest weaknesses of carriers, is that you can get them caught out of position, but recall completely negates that issue at all. And the tempo swing can be massive. Finally, we see Mihu trying to make his way downtown yet again. Such a large force of Goliaths, but the goons are waiting. And if he gets enough storm onto these Goliaths, another stasis coming out, maybe he can get enough of these Goliaths dealt with that the carriers can go to town. Here comes a big EMP on 3 of those Templars, but they've already done their job. Beautiful blanketing on Silent Storm, on the back row of Goliaths. Wow, super impressive storm so far from our Polish player Bonyth.
Yeah, Mihu is breaking bottom left at the same time, which is really could be the killing blow here. But my goodness, Bonyth fighting really well on the right side.
Yeah, if he could somehow storm from the high ground in the bottom left and kill this army, that would be amazing. But he's just barely struggling to micro on 2 fronts. He's focusing more on here. He's putting all of his eggs into this basket and trying to attack on this vertical vector and get the train going, maybe all the way to the Terran production line. Maybe he can somehow keep the count of Goliaths low enough and get the trades going. But it looks like he's thinking better of it. He knows he's not quite getting the trades that he's looking for, and he's taking too much damage in this bottom left.
Come on, get a good storm here. Storm these vultures. Okay.
It's just not barely enough down here. If there's just a tiny bit more defending down here in the bottom left, he could have maybe committed more to that assault on the right-hand side, and things would look a little bit different. Supply is still kind of okay for Bonyth, but now that he's lost one of these bases in the bottom left, he doesn't quite have as much of an engine to work with.
The Mihu scans are so fast.
Crazy. They're crazy. He's a machine.
They are immediate, but Mihu's got to be careful here. I know he has a huge Goliath army going on here. Okay, Bonyth can't get his carriers caught, but the carriers plus these Dragoons could melt these Goliaths. And if we keep trading really poorly with the Goliaths and we just keep giving them away, life can get difficult, right? Like, carriers have some real potential to keep this game going and really get a win. Right, he's going to get one of the carriers finally.
Yeah, finally gets a target fire down on one of those carriers with those Hellfire Karen boosted missiles. Pretty impressive stuff, but so far Bonyth has kind of weathered the storm. He needs to stabilize though. If you can fight the Goliaths with support of the Dragoons, it's great, but unfortunately now the tank's rolling in. It makes these Dragoons way less efficient in those trades, and Mihu's getting the better end of the stick thus far. 30 supply deficit for Bonyth to somehow make up, and Mihu will continually apply the pressure and keep the gas pedal down all the way while he's churning out units.
Yeah, I mean, Bonyth trying to do what he can here. Can he get some good storms down? Killing these Goliaths again here, though. I mean, tanks don't shoot up, man, so...
Right. I mean, it looks like the siege tanks can once they're in siege mode, but I assure you they certainly can't shoot up, and the carriers might be able to fight back this Terran army while he establishes this base again. If he can somehow get this one base up, he hasn't really been mining this natural third in the bottom right for some time. If he resaturates that,
well, we didn't see the switch over, and this may be a GG here from Bonyth. We see the little look on his face like, oh no, he needs to run to his cannons. He cannot. My goodness, the Cloak Wraith, there's the GG. Yeah. Wow, what a switch over there for Mihu.
Wow, we saw the knowing smirk and smile almost there from Bonyth. Just knew his time was done, and yeah, didn't even have any observers nearby to run to the safety of. Really nice little tempo switch for Mihu to ensure that he can have a tactical maneuver to close out that game. Nice little checkmate move from him, but Bonyth looked super strong on that game. I thought he had it.
Yeah, Bonyth looked really good again. I mean, he started with the deficit with the TT drop, doing essentially nothing, right, other than forcing a couple turrets in the SPV pull, but Mihu battling back really strong into the mid game there. And I was like, oh no, he keeps sacrificing all these Goliaths. Like, what are we going to do? And he had a plan. He just made the Cloak Wraith, switched it up, and able to kill those carriers, which will tie this series up 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of expected it was Mihu's pick. He's way more comfortable on that map. We are going to go into Neo Dark Origin as our map number 3, which is a much more crazier map. You know, gas steal right away. We might be seeing a forced gasless from Mihu as a result of that, and he's not so comfortable with that style. We've been seeing pretty much non-stop 12 gas from this guy.
Yeah, and I think if there was a game that Mihu had wanted back yesterday, it was the game against John Hoon on this map, right? Like, he was in a really good position and then he kind of threw it away. So I think that we're going to have to see what he decides to do here, because I'm assuming we're going to see a gas steal for Bonyth. It would almost be silly for him not to do it, right? Like, get your zealots out, your really crazy micro, forward gate, steal the gas, and go from there.
I mean, you do sometimes rarely see a professional Protoss player not go for the gas deal because he's got some other kind of mind game planned and he wants you to assume you will have to play gasless anyway. So that sometimes you see that weird shenanigan of they're not going for that gas deal, but like 90+% of the time you see them go for it. It's just such an easy advantage to secure.
Absolutely. And then this map, another good map for carriers. So Bonyth does like that. So if he wants to be able to get there, he can. But yeah. Reaver's also strong. Everything's strong. This is definitely a good Bonyth map.
I think so. And also there's a lot of spots to hide your Stargates. You can hide them in the top right or the 12 or like a 6 or bottom left, for example. It doesn't really matter. Like, there's a lot of spots to hide these also inside your main base. There's quite a large vertical architecture inside the main. You can kind of hide them. You can kind of put them at opposite ends. And the real tell, though, will be the main base core. When he scans that and sees that spinning, sometimes you'll see Protoss players also hide a core to get the upgrade there, but not a lot of players want to invest those extra minerals.
Absolutely. I wonder if Bonyth will get real tricky. Maybe hide some gateways in the back of his base, or that'd be awesome if he
Quark would do something like that probably.
He would definitely do something like that. The problem on this map is a little bit more expected.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you want to do anything too crazy against Mihu. You still have to respect Mihu. Although Mihu did look a little bit tilted going into game number 2. Maybe he still isn't feeling super hot, even though he won that last game. Wasn't necessarily a clean victory on his map choice.
Yeah, Bonyth has been doing really well so far. We've seen really strong macro from him. He's playing out really well. I mean, all has been good, so.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good for Bonyth still, even though we lost that game. Like, I think, it's water off a duck's back. It might see a tug of war where both players keep winning their maps of choice. So if Bonyth can secure a victory here, I'm still feeling super good about our Polish players' chances at getting not only a victory, but going all the way and maybe being able to take out Zanhoon in that grand finals, who's not quite as hot as Bonyth is in that mirror matchup.
Absolutely. I think it'd be a good step here in the right direction for Bonyth, taking this map right, getting another win on your map that you want, and then kind of playing it out from there. I mean, close series so far as we expected from these two. So I'm assuming they're both should be feeling pretty good. I mean, Bonyth should be very happy. He played an incredible game on Apocalypse, right? So he knows he could beat Mihu even late game. Like, we can go late game and you can get it.
All right, both players are going to be ready. So we're going to be jumping into our game number 3 here on Neo Dark Origin.
All right, game number 3, and spawning in the top left, we have Bonyth. And in the bottom right, was able to pull back another win to tie it up at 1. It is Mihu. All right, let's see what Bonyth is going to do. What kind of craziness? What kind of shenanigans? Or are we just going to see some regular stuff?
I think regular stuff, especially on this map. I mean, I would love to see at least the gas steal from Bonyth. It would be a shame if he doesn't at least go for that. There's the probe. That's my boy.
Okay. All right, so we're going to see a forward gateway here into a gas steal, I would assume, which I like. Bonyth mixing it up, putting some pressure on Mihu. Mihu's got to probably expect this. We'll see what he's prepped.
Yep, this is basically how you can expect a Protoss player to play on this map. You want to expect the worst, and this is such an effective way for the Protoss player to secure that early game tempo advantage. Applying pressure while growing yourself is the way you want to play. And look at some of that BSL merch, guys. Use code BSL and get 15% off of that merch at bombastic.shop. Please support us. We appreciate you guys very much. I'm super stoked for this series, though, because I think that we might see a back and forth situation.
Yeah, we may go the distance again like we did yesterday.
Yeah. And what's he doing? Right. Okay. I thought for a second he was going to hide the pro, but no.
He's just hiding because at 1:35 is the gas timing for Terran. So
can you imagine if he can you imagine if he did like a forge and did a cannon push from the north here in the base while applying pressure with the Zealot? Would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be amazing. But yeah, no, the gas timing is usually around like 134 for the 12 gas, 135. So as long as you get there by then, you know you can still steal the gas effectively with no issues. You know, you can get all your probes.
Yeah. Yeah, something that's really rare to see against the Terran player is the sort of proxy cannon rush in their main base, sneaking that probe in early game. Usually, you need to make sure the probe doesn't get spotted when you do that, though. And the gas steal is a little bit annoying. We don't see the light style of throwing on 2-3 SCVs to kill that right away thus far from Mihu. He seems to be reserved in just allowing that to occur. Although I would say it's not the style that he's most comfortable with. Gasless might just be what Bonyth needs to put Mihu on the back foot.
Absolutely. It's the Terran response to this is always interesting, right? Like as Terran, you can go the 2-3 SCVs. I think you can go if you go more than 3, you're killing your eco, and as Protoss, right, you would know that. You would want to make sure that you can just kind of play an advantage. You don't take a second zealot. Some Terran even go with like 1 SCV on it and just take it, you know, as a gasless. So
this is a little bit unfortunate getting this probe trap so early on, but it is what it is.
It's by design, son, so that he wouldn't have the Marine in the bunker so he can run by.
Okay, and now we can maybe get some damage on this other Marine. It's going to have to be running back and avoiding that. So, yeah, this is really good. Yeah, you're right. Like, he only took like 2 or 3 shots on that Marine initially as a result of that.
Yeah, Bonyth using that big brain man, pulling the Marine out of the bunker so he could get the Zealot in a good spot. But Mihu right now doing a really good job microing these Marines, just pulling this SCV back and forth. A little bit of monkey in the middle here.
Yeah.
Poor Zealot, man.
Yeah, ring around the rosy. Poor Zealot. It's unfortunate indeed. But with the second Zealot coming in, if he could somehow stay alive, this would be a great. But now that he's dead again, this Zealot will have the same problem. 3 Marines does beat 1 Zealot pretty easily with some degree of micro and the hole to hide behind. So we'll have to respect that runaway. Maybe he can get the SCV cancel in the natural expansion, though. I don't know.
Maybe. I thought that was what he was going to go for. But here we're just going through. Oh, he couldn't get a shot off.
Yeah.
If I was Bonyth, I would have started to worry if I saw more than this many Marines. I mean, then you kind of say, oh my goodness, is this guy looking to just pull the boys because I'm going to have a forward gateway?
Yeah.
But he did not, so should we still
This is 3 SCVs off the line to respect the second Zealot coming in. He didn't make any additional Marines, so 3 Marines to 2 Zealots. With the 3 SCVs, with good micro, you still obviously are fine as Terran, but if the Zealots get around you, you're in trouble. So has to respect this and be careful. Gets around the SCVs. Now he can get on top of these Marines who are already a little bit softened up. Beautiful play from Bonyth, getting 2 of these Marine hits, and the third one too, where Zealot does go down, but now the pressure's back on.
Yeah, Mihu was looking really solid there. Then he loses 3 Marines. Now he's got to go make some more. Oh my goodness. They're body blocking each other. Bonyth. Oh, come on. You got to have a little bit taller of a Zealot so he can reach that, man.
Yeah, these aren't quite reach, man. Does manage to get the Marine, though. I mean, just forcing this many additional Marines is super annoying for me, man. So many SCVs off the line to deal with this. Each SCV is approximately 40, 50 Marines per minute that are not gaining right now for Mihu. This is really disrupting his mid-game potential by slowing him down like this.
And he was able to block the factory to start, so he's even delayed that a couple seconds, you know.
Yeah. This is great indirect damage from Bond. If you've never been like kill SCVs or anything, he's slowed down the tech timings. He's slowed down a lot by making him force to spend so much money on Marines. Is kind of compensated for the CC being earlier than the Nexus.
Absolutely. Double gas going down. Very close supplies here. Mihu actually ahead, so Bonyth needs to make sure he's on that pro production, which he seems like he is. Robotics going down. 2-gate robo, pretty standard from here.
Yeah, I mean, if both players are on top of their macro cycles, that's the most important thing because, you know, you're obviously both able to produce 2 workers at a time. So keeping 24/7 worker production is so important at this phase of the game. That's why a lot of people will tell you, like, go and look at your replay and see how much your command center is actually flashing because you're probably missing cycles if things are looking weird in the mid game.
Yeah, Mihu playing very standard here, putting down the eBay. Doesn't want any nonsense to happen now that Bonyth has shown DT drops are possible. So getting up that eBay, making sure everything's clean.
Yeah. I mean, this is looking pretty okay so far. I mean, it wasn't like game-ending damage by Bonyth, but I like that he kind of like put himself into the driver's seat, and he can get a pretty on-curve third base as well.
Yeah, Oh, third factory, it looks like there from Mihu. Okay, I think that's exactly what he needs to do here. He needs to pump up some units with all the delay, right? He needs to make sure he wants to be able to hold his third. Doesn't get busted, so we're going to see a third factory. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see third factory into a third CC here. Hold the bridge. Bonyth still delaying that third a little bit. I'm imagining it's going to go down now. We're at that 630 mark. There it is. All right. Play now standard.
I'll be impressed if all three of these Dragoons are perfectly positioned. It's so hard to get your Dragoons perfectly positioned on the vertical axis against the bunker like this, and it looks like he has kind of got that lined up nicely there. Wants to force a little bit of attack spill just before the tank comes out and starts putting down some damage with the arc light cannon onto the shields of that. Any damage is good damage from Bonyth here. Forcing some lost mining time repair is a little win here.
Okay, fourth factory down for Mihu, getting into that heavier production so that he can be a presence on the map. Siege mode first this time. Ooh.
He has to respect the 4 Dragoons, right? Because they can two-shot you in a volley, so it does kind of... It's a little bit scary for the Terran initially, but once you got 2 tanks out, then things are underway. You're then completely sewn up tight, generally speaking, unless it's some kind of bulldog play. We do see this pylon coming out at the 3 o'clock location, but I'm pretty sure that's just going to be a spotter pylon.
Definitely just a scouting pylon, unless he's going to build something real crazy. Maybe some Stargates on that side of the map, so that'd be wild.
That'd be too wild. There's no way he's doing that. That's got to be a starter. He
that would be
mind
insane.
if he doesn't Stargates there.
Oh, we're going to go double Stargate mid, right? That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But Mihu looking like he wants to move. Unsieging, getting ready to go. Here he comes.
Yeah, I mean, it is about the time for it. He went up into 4-5 factory pretty quickly here. Looks at that. Look at that shot from Bonyth, though. Great connection. He's getting out without losing a Dragoon even. That's almost pro gamer level execution there from Bonyth. I'm really impressed.
That was really well done. Able to snipe one and then run away. Able to get the barracks. Going to delay the... Well, we have 5 factories, so I don't know how many more we're going to delay. Maybe only one more, but he is... looking good, Bonyth here, doing all the moves that he needs. Up to 4 gateways, got the robotics, already done. Gonna have a Reaver soon.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty good so far. We see barracks having to be remade from Mihu, slowing down that 6 factory timing. Can't do quite as much of a strong arm push anymore. We'll have to go a lot more mid-range in his approach and secure this 3rd base and stay on curve. And abusing this bridge, maybe Bonyth can sandbag the Terran just enough to still remain comfortable in this game. Oh, buff carriers. Okay.
Cyber, kinetic score spinning. Where are we going to hide the
top
carriers?
Right, top right.
Is
top
the
right.
question.
Top right. You hide the carriers top right here.
Yeah, top right is fine, or even 12 o'clock behind like that little path's also a good choice. You know, right in there is usually a pretty good spot to hide carriers.
I think the Terran expects that more, so you don't do it there and you do it top right instead of 12.
Well, Bonyth needs to get this Reaver and shuttle down here, because if he allows Mihu to get to this mid-left position, it could really cause trouble for him, trying to hold back while he's going 4 gate into carriers. And this is not a full block, and some vultures have gotten out and through, but Bonyth is aware of it, so he has his shuttle and Reaver. Oh, never mind, he's not aware. He's going to be surprised.
Ooh, I mean, that's a pretty good probe connections from Mihu. Snagging just a few gas probes is a little bit annoying. Dragoons are in position to stop, crisis amount of lost mining time as well, though. So it's not too bad here for our Polish Protoss player. Looking pretty good. Hiding those carrier tech in the main base towards the south will be safer in the long term. Maybe get some detonations on these units. Hit the mine. Was that an attack move? Come on, Bonyth.
Not the mine, man. Not the mine.
Yeah. No manual targeting there. Oh, look at this. We're going back retro style, boys. This is how we used to play. We used to play like this, boys, back in the day on IC Cup. Can you imagine? Yeah, guys. I mean, we're just going to be enjoying the game like this for now. This is how we used to play. You can see how little much of the screen you can see. You can't even see further than the tanks can shoot. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Man, I like that we're in retro mode here. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is how things used to be back.
Ooh, see ya.
This is like watching Reach versus Nada, like way back in the day, man. This is like the observer had to dance around the screen so fast just to keep up with the action, because you struggle to keep all of the army on screen, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes there's a bug where it glitches back to this mode, and you need to pretty much exit and redo.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate it happens here, but no problem. Some of
Yeah.
our players, I'm sure, in the chat still play in this mode. So,
Oh yeah.
all right, now here we go. We got a serious problem here for Bonyth. How on earth? Oh no, does that shuttle go down?
It's hard to tell in this
About
mode.
to
Oh,
shuttle down, but he's getting so many units with those Reavers. Ooh! Wiping out most of the vultures, leaving up a whole bunch of tanks, but does Bonyth have the units? Oh no, there's more Reaver.
I mean, there's no real support for these tanks, so if somehow he did have shuttles, he'd come in here easily. The Zealots are going to try and support the Dragoons. Maybe he can get in here, Raz. Maybe he can get on top of these tanks. There's a lot of deep tanks there, but there's not much support. He gets on top of the tanks with the Zealots and Dragoons from the low ground. Maybe there's some of those beautiful mines being laid in the wake of those Dragoons, making it very difficult here for Mihu. But there's more Dragoons coming from the sandwich side. Bonyth looks like he might better do it and clean up this attack about taking, but now there's more probes going down. What a wild game.
This is crazy. We had both players going in from the other side. Oh, please don't run a Zealot in there. But Mihu getting so much damage done, killing so many probes.
Wow, that target firing was nuts, by the way. I'm sure he's playing like 1A, 2A, 3A maps or something, because that target firing was out of this world. What was that?
But Mihu, no command center yet. I don't see... Oh, he finally scans it. He knows what's going on here.
Yeah. I mean, he did also scan the top right, so he knows there's no base up there as well. He knows the exact game state right now. Mihu's probably feeling pretty confident. He knows that he'll have to keep the pressure on. He will be on a little bit of a clock here. There will be a few minute window until these carriers can get online. That means you can start to keep the punish online. But so far, Bonyth wanting to come out and mine sweep and keep the Terran player back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a third command center here yet from Mihu at all. No. So I don't know if he's just going for it or if that is a command center. Okay, there's the command center there. I mean, I wasn't sure. We're very delayed here at this command center. So the question is, was he just going to go for it or was he going to actually try to play out? But he now knows there's carriers. So he knows that he's on a little bit of a timer here.
Right, but the starport is so late, so it'll be so long before the Terran gets good upgrades. So if somehow Bonyth can just hang on to his dear life, he will be able to eventually outscale Mihu in this game due to how bad the upgrades are for Mihu. Mihu kind of feels maybe a slight desperation in doing something right here, right now.
Yeah, right now, this is a really good fight here from Mihu in this spot. It's such a funnel for the Protoss units, but oh my goodness, only 2 interceptors. That's not going to be... Oh, maybe it is enough.
I mean, the baby teeth are just coming in now for these Sky Dragons, but it might be too little too late. At the very least, the probes have to be evacuated, and it looks like the sacrifice will be the play on this base. And suddenly it's 2 base versus 2 base. I mean, it's still technically winnable for Bonyth, but I'm much more comfortable for position for Mihu. Now that he's taking this third while killing Bonyths, this is looking more and more dire for our Polish player.
Yeah, Bonyth was able to wipe this army. Oh my, he didn't kill the Nexus. He didn't kill the Nexus, son.
2 HP. 2 HP. You can kill it. Is he trolling? Is he trolling?
Wow. Wow. Not gonna kill the Nexus. Just Bonyth, I don't need this base.
I think he's trolling. He must be that confident. I think he's annoyed about how this series is going, and he's BMing a little bit here, just as to try and get back his mojo again.
Oh no. No, not the Reaver. Oh, not like this.
Not like this. The tank is sieging up.
It was a bait. Son, it was a bait.
Oh, it was a bait and switch. She's gonna get the kill anyway. Oh, what can you do?
A ton of Goliaths. Ooh, thank you for the tip, Mr. Medino.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you. It was fun casting with you in that 2v2 way back when as well, Medino. Be cool, my guy. Enjoy the holiday season. Appreciate your support. Yeah, with only 3 carriers, not really enough damage in this Protoss army to really come in and do anything. You need like 4, 5, 6 carriers to really get that underway. So Bonyth unfortunately doesn't have many options available to him that aren't suicide.
Yeah, Mihu feeling very comfortable right now. He knows that Bonyth's eco is damaged like crazy. He has a ton of Goliaths, you know. He's feeling very secure. He's just going to be adding a ton of turrets here. Bonyth, I'm not sure what his plan is going to be to try to pull this back. Looking to harass here, but he can't afford to just trade out interceptors at this point, unfortunately.
No, if he had like another base going in the top right or something, he could just like, you know, keep churning out those interceptors and it wouldn't be too bad. But being in a base deficit against a Terran player and you're trading interceptors, you're not feeling happy. Oh my god, those mines are crazy.
That doesn't help, Zun. That doesn't help.
I would say his win percent just plummeted about 5%.
Oh man. And this is a massive Terran army, and Mihu looking to push while setting up defense for a counter because he knows if he just goes for Bonyth's base, he's going to kill him, and he's almost maxed here. We see a 50 supply lead for our Terran player. My goodness, he is looking to wrap these units here, Zun. He's like, I don't need to attack your base. I'm going to kill your army. Yeah, where does Bonyth go from here?
I mean, he's going to have to abandon his infantry to keep these carriers alive. Maybe he's just going to fight and try and take the threat head on. So far skirmishing, but losing a lot of these interceptors to do so. And now we see the wraparound pincer maneuver coming from Mihu, pushing up on this vertical axis, as well as coming in here on this fourth base location. This is looking rather dire for Bonyth, but he is fighting back against this crazy Chinese macro monster at the moment. There's a lot of red on the map, so he's representing his nation well, but it's going to be too much for him to handle as this absolute madman pushes him out.
Yeah, Bonyth there losing his entire ground army, still a 40 supply difference, and the real story is the number of bases. Mihu has bottom left. He's on 4 bases, 4 gases. He can just macro so well.
Yeah, it's looking more and more dire here, targeting firing his own gateway just so he can keep those interceptors out so they do not take as much time to deploy, can instantly pounce on maybe sniping enough of these carriers off or tanks so the Dragoons can actually support well. If there was more meat in the inventory of the Protoss player and he killed the tanks, maybe somehow with Dragoon and Storm he could thin out the herd of Goliaths, but in this current game state there's not enough utility to really get that done, and even with 6 carriers not going to be able to abuse the terrain, and Mihu just so fluid in his army movements to keep up with Bonyth.
Yeah, Mihu is just scanning, following, right? Like, he doesn't even need to fight the carriers themselves. As long as he continues to kill the interceptors, he'll be fine.
Yeah, this is pretty much like 101 from Mihu here to keep Bonyth in a kind of checkmate position where it's a slow but sure death here, slowly boiling the frog alive, and he's not even able to detect the change in temperature quickly enough to realize his doom is imminent.
Yeah, Bonyth is trying to fight here, but these carriers just not strong enough right now to deal with this many Goliaths. I mean, it is crazy. We are up to about 7, 8 carriers, but my goodness, look how many Goliaths there are.
Yeah, we do have that 2-1 upgrades online for Mihu finally as well. So these Goliaths are trading a little bit better than before as well. So all the news is bad for Bonyth. The only thing going for him is that he eventually will have like an 8-carrier fleet. Somehow maybe he could make it work with enough Sonic Storm support. Fortunate there. But yeah, look how fast he is with these scans. Like, just no value really from these DTs all series long. Finally going to start to trade with this Terran meat, but look how deep it goes. I mean, I don't think he can chew all this off.
Yeah, this is definitely an issue here for Bonyth. He's fighting pretty well, trying to run in the Zealots to get the tanks to fire on the Goliaths, trying to kill what he can, but he's down 50 supply here.
Yep.
There is just so much Terran on this map right now. The interceptors, you can see them, they are starting to thin out. My goodness.
I mean, it's a pretty good Sonic Storms on the frontal engagement, though. Maybe had to trade off the remainder of these tanks, but now there's no Dragoons to help support on the ground against these mass of Goliaths, and so unfortunately these carriers getting further and further behind in the game state. He is doing a pretty valiant effort of trading off the majority of this Terran forces. Honestly, this is pretty good from Bonyth. It's not the worst case scenario. Has been able to reduce the Goliath count significantly. If he can somehow maintain a high interceptor count and keep trading off these Goliaths, maybe there's a game state where there's not quite enough critical mass of Goliaths to finish the job, but it looks like barely Mihu has enough to keep him back.
Yeah, Bonyth will take this battle, but it seems like Mihu will take the war that is the game right now. Bonyth really not mining anymore. That Nexus goes down. He'll be able to long distance mine from that base a little bit, but I mean, unless somehow.
Wolfix,
carriers.
Players like Wolfix will tell you this is exactly how he loses to Bonyth when you get into these weird scenarios where there's just carriers left on the map, and with a handful of units, he runs around and somehow makes the magic happen. This Polish guy has a little bit of magic in his bones. Maybe he can cast a spell on our Chinese player and pull the wool over his eyes in this game. It is still possible, making his way downtown with this big carrier fleet right now. If he can kill most of these Goliaths before they can target fire down anything, maybe he can make it happen.
I mean, right now he's doing it. Right now he is taking out Mihu's forces, army.
Oh my god.
I mean, but I just don't know how he continues this with no money, right? Like Mihu doing what Mihu's got to stop this right here. If he continues to just bleed off 10 Goliaths at a time, okay, he does get one carrier. He can't bleed off any more.
Right, now I love this decision though from Bonyth. He's decided not to long distance mine too much. He's just gonna, he has to cancel. He's canceling. Okay, so he's gonna have to just put all of his eggs into one basket now and try and kill Mihu with the carriers. He's now canceling that Nexus and just purely making as many interceptors as can. He smells blood in the water after killing that CC. I don't think he realizes how much minerals that Mihu's got with this bottom left base still churning away. I think there's a miscalculation here from Bonyth. But with that one tank that's in that top left, has made him decide to cancel. Two tanks have made him decide to cancel. He's even got 2 templates there. He can storm and kill those tanks.
They were all hanging out holding hands. Little does he know, it's not enough. Yeah. Bonyth definitely does not realize that Mihu has bottom left as well. I think he thought that mid-right base was his 4th base, and if he got these 2 bases, he could do something. I mean, I think we're down to single-digit interceptors here. Yeah. Bonyth holding on, but there it is. Finally, the GG comes out from him. And hey, at least we're not in retro. We're back to normal state here. That's good news. I was a little bit worried when we switched the camera where we would be, but unfortunately, Bonyth dropping that game despite his carrier switch. But a valiant effort. Mihu making some killer moves there.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, that was a spicy game. Sorry about the technical difficulties of the retro, guys. That was a little bit of a blast from the past, though. I kind of enjoyed that. Really interesting stuff. Shame Bonyth couldn't quite go all the way. It looked like for a second that he was almost making it happen. There was a little bit of magic in the air. Maybe he can finally get it together on Pantheon coming up next. But if I'm not mistaken, I think both players are going to be going into a 4-minute break right now. So if you guys need to use the bathroom, go get some snicky snacks, whatever you need to do, go do that, because we're going to be coming back in just a few minutes here to keep this series going.
welcome back. We have seen some exciting matches so far, some different styles on different maps, and Mihu has been able to benefit a little bit more. He's up 2-1 with Bonyth not going down without a fight. We're about to get to Pantheon here. Zon, what do you think about this map?
I don't know, it's so big. Carrier's not so good on it. I hope it's going to be cross-map for Bonyth's sake, but both players are ready, so we're jumping into game number 4 here, Pantheon.
Alrighty, and spawning in the bottom right, it is Mihu. And in the top right corner, we have Bonyth. Alright, so will we see something different, you know? Will we see something like a 12 Nexus? Because Bonyth has surprised us today with the style. Will we see Shuttleman, the double robo? Because last time he used it... Oh, look at our fierce competitors, so focused. Oh, don't get distracted, Mihu. Don't get too distracted.
Yeah, maybe a cat or something in the background there trying to give him some tips on his build orders. Maybe he's got a lucky cat that helps him out with his optimization. That's the secret to his madness. Must be some kind of method.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to see something different from Bonyth again. I'm excited. His first game was really surprising. He played really well. Can we see that? Because I feel like that double robo style here on Pantheon would be strong.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't see Mihu nearly as comfortable today as usual. Even just saw there a little bit of a adjustment of his hair and a little bit of his face in his hands and a slight head tilt. I don't know, I feel like he's not anywhere near as comfortable as he wants to be against Bonyth. And I feel like Bonyth may be finding himself in a situation where he's a little bit under Mihu's skin. He's just having a hard time executing, and maybe he can somehow figure it out on this map, Pantheon. Not going to be able to abuse his carrier style nearly as much. He needs to be worried about this vertical access from Mihu. He can attack and defend at the same time when taking this 3 o'clock base, which is a little bit of a problem. And look at this. We see a gasless thus far. Okay, no, 12 quests. Okay.
Yeah, Bonyth kind of going back with that style where he was going, 19 Nexus with the early Zealot. I think we're going to see that again. He's comfortable with that style. So simple, and it's the same for him. Nothing too wild.
Yeah. It would have been interesting if we did see maybe a gasless or a 12 Nexus, but I guess we're not too surprised to see this mid-range focus from these guys. They know it so well. They're way more comfortable with this, and I imagine that Bonyth has gone through these behavior trees just a few more magnitudes of 100 times, so that he's got so much more experience navigating these waters. Even if he's slightly behind the economic curve as a result, I'm sure he's much more comfortable going down this route.
Absolutely. I think these players are just playing in their comfort zone, right? Like, why mess around? You know the build, you know the patterns that happen, you know scenarios. So I think it just makes sense that they're doing that. And Bonyth, this is what he did right on Apocalypse as well, and was able to put a little more pressure. He didn't go with the 19 Nexus. He went with the Zealot into the Dragoon. So we'll see what he decides. I think we're going to see a 19 Nexus, which is totally fine. And let's see if he can get some pressure down here on Mihu. I'd love to see him run the probe past the Marine and block it.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, the probe does help out a little bit with 2 shots of that particle beam. Helps the Zealot come in here and do some 2-shot wonders on these Marines. Ooh, gets the kill on this SUV. Would be great. A nice little pick off from Bonyth, and trades mostly just the shields for that as well. Great little early game tempo play. Still on the high ground. Going to be coming back in for round 2 now. Gets a good connection with that Marine. One more probe hit, one more Zealot hit. Does the job. Gets it. Now needs to be careful. Will not lose his probe though.
Yeah, well done. I mean, he gets a CV and a Zealot, so 100 mineral for 100 mineral delays that up a little bit. But I don't know, man. I'm seeing Marine production continue and him to chase. Are we going to see... so one of the weaknesses to this 19 Nexus delayed range is pulling the boys, using, bunker, pull the boys, use the Vulture, and kill the Protoss because he doesn't have the range.
I mean, he's got a probe and a Dragoon.
The Dragoon and the Marines will have this. He needs to kill these SCVs. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. This is not good. Bad.
Push back. This is what I was worried about.
Yeah, the Goon and the probe needs to stop the SCVs building the bunker, but he's not done it in time. The Marines get back here to zone this away, and now he's going to finish up this bunker, and he can target fire the Nexus with the SCVs as well. He's going to have to eventually get a robo online. I mean, at least he's going to always get a cancel, I guess. It's not too bad, but I don't know.
It's quite bad. It's quite bad, son. It's quite bad. This is not where you want to be as Bonyth, because now he has to wait for the range, and then he'll be able to repair and lay mines, right? So he's going to really delay this Nexus. Mihu will be free to take his command center, and Bonyth's going to have to try to rely on something like a Reaver to kind of get back into this here.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a typical 12 Nexus where you abandon the Nexus and you've made probes out of it. We went for the Nexus. We lost 20% of it. This is definitely a tough situation here for Bonyth.
Yeah, you're right, because usually you would have had like the Nexus done and you built the probes and you evacuate the probes. It's not too bad because you've already made some probes with that Nexus, but having to cancel it at the maximum progression and then not even having some production time to produce your workers from it, really a weird situation for Bonyth to navigate. Definitely going to be playing from behind. I'm hoping he can somehow have a good gambit utilizing the Reaver and kind of get a tempo swing that way, but he's going to be putting a little bit of pressure on this bunker. He brings another SCV, so it's going to take a long time to break out.
Yeah, he's going to sit here and delay. Eventually he will get it, but
even coming in with the vultures here.
Oh man, laying these mines down.
Yeah.
Which will push those back so they can't even kill the bunker because they can't range it. And if you have the same number of SCVs repairing as there are Dragoons, you can't kill it. My goodness, Mihu delaying like crazy. And this will just put Mihu into a defensive posture, right? He'll just say, okay, no problem. I'm just going to... Oh, he's going to try to lay more mines?
Yeah,
oh
he's really active.
That's crazy, man.
He's super proactive, right? And that means that then he gets to repair the bunker back. Oh, he's not repairing. He needs to be on top of that. Yeah, it does buy him enough time to get back onto the repair, but now finally Bonyth will be able to break free of that. Hasn't quite got that robotic support bay finished up. Has got an observer and a shuttle already made to make use of that production facility while waiting for that tech to come online. Shuffles the Marines over to the left-hand side and runs away with the tank as well. Finally can get this expansion cleared out and make the Nexus. Oh, he loses a goon.
Yeah, Mihu saw the little blurb come and he was like, oh no, I gotta run. I can't stand here and fight use the tank, because if I do that, I'll die. I'll get my units caught. Bonyth will go across the map and pressure as well. Maybe with the Reaver Dragoons together, he can get it done, but I'm imagining we're gonna see Siege here soon and a bunch of turrets. He's gonna just play defense, because his SCV count is going to be so much better than Bonyth's probe count because he's on 2 command centers versus 1 Nexus.
Right. I mean, this is like a B or an A rank terror, and maybe his build order is just not sharp enough to have the siege mode ready. But he's got 3 tanks popping out, 5 Dragoons trying to get a 2 volley shot on one of the tanks, manages to find it, loses a Dragoon for his efforts, though 2 SCVs on standby repairing that bunker, and with the barracks there, he could also plug that hole again and prevent a run by. So he needs to be careful not to fully commit into this. Does Bonyth, does manage to sneak in with that observer, sees there's only 1 factory for the time being. Maybe that'll make him consider some further aggression, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's going to try to get something done with this Reaver. It's going to be quite difficult. Turret ring coming in here from Mihu. Bonyth probably needs to greed a little bit here and take this Nexus as soon as possible. You can see it's already delayed 7:45, but Mihu just doing exactly what I thought he would and just play defense here.
Well, I think seeing the single factory, rather than being aggressive, we be greedy, knowing that it's going to be a little bit of time for Mihu to do anything about it. Let's just get our stuff underway here and macro up a little bit from behind while applying some pressure. Maybe we can come in here and soften up this turret ring.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get this turret here. He's trying to get the repair. We'll take 2 shots now. Oh.
He's going to get it.
Okay, this is big here. Now Bonyth has broken through the turret ring. He can... Okay, he has a Zealot here as well.
He's not even building the armory right now. This is great slowdown, and he's pulling off the line. It is indirect damage by denying mining time. Pretty good connection on those 2 tanks. This is pretty good. The SCVs are coming back in. He might get a big SCV connection. Tries to run away again. This is great play from Bonyth. Stopping the turrets going up as well. So much lost mining. He might get the whole train.
Not dropping it. Knows that if he drops it, he will lose it. He needs to find a good spot that he can drop and not get hit by a couple siege tank shots here. The problem now, okay, Mihu has not built another turret, so Bonyth can get out now, right?
Yeah.
At least he can save the Reaver, and that's a big deal. For some lost mining time, getting himself back in it. Oh, look at this, coming back for more.
Oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, this is great value from this one Reaver, and he's taking his third base while doing all this. This is great, applying pressure while growing. Great StarCraft standard play from Bonyth, try and navigate his way through the murky waters and back into a more playable game situation. Still picking up more value, slowing down. I mean, Mihu's technically supply blocked right now. This is a lot of damage.
Yeah, and we're going to get another one here. Well done here from Bonyth. Really just getting full value from this Reaver. I'd love to see him go back again and get another one. Just continue to supply block Mihu. Continue to force him to put attention in his base. And like I said, big deal that he saves the Reaver. Now he can make another one and use it to slow down a push from Mihu. He has speed, shuttle, so able to get it up, getting up gateways. Really good from him. 5 factories from Mihu. This is what I kind of expected that he would want to push now that he's, really hurt Bonyth's economy.
Yeah, but he is a little bit
double
off-road.
Reaver, man. Double Reaver.
Yeah, and he's off-road. Mihu is not the place where he wants to be. 10 minutes in, 5 factory. The armory was delayed, so upgrade timings and everything's a little bit delayed. The supply depots going down does also hinder his production capabilities. So look at the supplies currently even. Does seem to favor Mihu, but with the Reaver tech available to him, he might be able to do enough slowdown on anything Mihu tries to get done.
Yeah. Mihu, I'm surprised. Just kind of sitting and chilling here. Not actually going. I thought we would see a little more aggression from him, but he is content here, just hanging out and staying. So,
but I think he knows how slow the economy back home is for Bonyth. He's not too concerned, but Bonyth's been a tiny bit greedy. He is catching up on that economic curve slowly but surely. Mihu doesn't want to be too cocky here.
No, I think he needs to probably get going here in a second. Oh my goodness, here we go. Vulture's trying to run by. Gonna find a little bit of value in this natural. Taking down 2.
3 so far. 4.
4. Okay, 4 and a pull. Getting some good damage there. Doing what he needs to do. But Bonyth up to 6 gateways. Getting legs. Oh my goodness. Bonyth, please notice this, my man.
Oh no, Raz.
Reaver goes down and the other one is damaged. That's not good. Gotta be careful here. Could trigger Mihu to go now. He knows he's killed one of the Reavers.
He has 1 Reaver left, so it's not like the absolute worst case scenario, but it's pretty bad. He doesn't have enough to really scare Mihu into not pushing anymore, so he will start to maybe consider coming up here. He's scouting around with these Vulture raiding parties, laying down mines behind enemy lines, looking for maybe potential attack vectors, while also putting some pressure on coming into the 12 o'clock base with those Vultures, see if he can find anything there. Tries to get isolation on 2 of those Dragoons, finds 1 kill.
Yeah, that was well done. Gets a kill there, forcing Bonyth to multitask. Very close in supply here, but Bonyth up to 8 gateways. I don't know if he's looking to try to bust here. Is he going to go with more shuttles and just continue to make Zealot? But as Mihu sees he doesn't have a 4th base, I think that will continue to make him sit, right? Like he's like, all right, I don't got to rush anywhere. He doesn't have a 4th base. He's not greeting that hard. I can just sit here and take what I need to take.
Yeah, I think so. I think like the onus is on Bonyth to do something in this game state. Mihu has the option to just slowly but surely chug along, take his 3rd base, macro up to a strong Terran production capability, and he'll be sitting pretty, able to even split the map unless Bonnie goes with some kind of carrier timing. But I think Gateway Man with pure shuttles and Storm would be ideal in the next phase of the game. But so far, just pure Dragoons and Reaver has been the style of choice.
Yeah, Bonyth, I caution him taking this base to the right. It almost seems to be better if he would take the base that's more in that 11 o'clock position, because as Mihu pushes, he will get towards this base. So I'm not sure this is the one I would want to take, but it's the one Bonyth is going to take.
Well, another problem is that Mihu could, if he wanted to, take this gas expansion at 3 o'clock later on when he attacks as well. So taking away the mineral only while he attacks and also securing another gas expansion for himself could be an easy way to get 5 bases online with 6 o'clock as well. So Mihu will have such a crazy mid to late game phase in terms of macro capability. A little bit concerned for our Polish Protoss.
Double Robo, so we're going to see mass dropships coming in here again.
I think you need to. You need to go pure Gateway Man with Double Robo here and just go crazy amounts of shuttles, Storm, constantly bombard one of these expansions with Storm, keep pulling the Terran army around, slow down any kind of attacks, and maybe somehow you can whittle down the Terran to a nub while you outgrow him.
Even a bunker here. Wow.
That's pretty good. Look at that setup.
Mihu very aware of what's going on here, and Bonyth, I don't know how many of these shuttles are going to make it. Not many of them. Oh my goodness. Just saying thanks for coming, man. We appreciate that. One shuttle down, one really injured. Luckily, the Reaver continues to live, but supply is very, very close. Oop.
I mean,
Double Reaver.
Mihu is like making Terran look overpowered right now. That's a crazy defensive setup we've seen from here. There, maybe other Terrans want to take note of that. Really shuts down this kind of poor man's recall.
Oh no!
Oh no! Probes! Oh no! Red
probe transfer. All right, only a couple probe transfer gets taken down. Oh, gets a third one. Wants that one.
That was so close to being disastrous. Managed to avoid complete devastation there, pulling those probes back. Does lose a few of those. Lost mining time, a little bit frustrating. But yeah, like you were saying earlier, Raz, very astute observation. Taking this base is very dangerous.
Yeah, and I think that him just denying the probe transfer, even though he didn't get so many, is still such a tough position because you're still technically mining on the 3 bases. Mihu's on 3 bases, about to take his 4th. I mean, Mihu very comfortable here with just sitting right now, knowing the base count is pretty even. Bonyth's on 3 gases. He's about to get to his 3rd gas. You know, and this is what I talk about this map here, son. Where do you attack in? I don't know the answer to that question, right? Like, where do you attack now? Up into this small little choke? Do you attack into where everything is set up in the middle here? Like, it's a little bit hard on this map for you to just kind of attack in, especially when it's even like this.
I mean, your best bet at the moment is probably like natural expansion storm harassment on the Terran, but you can't really come down and challenge any other base because you're so far away coming down to these 6 o'clock locations. And we have Wraiths now coming out from Mihu. He's aware that the one thing that could go wrong for him is maybe some constant pressure of those shuttles coming around the whole map here. So he's got a Wraith down in that pocket as well.
Yeah, we see here Mihu trying to get active with these vultures on the map. Bonyth chasing them, but these are speedy bikes, man. They vroom real fast.
Yeah, 75 too strong, man. Look at these bikes just nipping around. And as those upgrades come online, they start to be able to kill buildings as well. So there's explosive damage type not being too much of an issue anymore later on. But for the time being, gonna have to circumnavigate any craziness. Oh no! So many high temperatures could go down, Raz.
There goes. Okay, good storms. 2, I think just 1 died, and with 3 storms, so still okay here. 2 Templar down. Ooh. 3 Templars down.
Okay, the
Dragoons running into mines.
The storms are really good zoning out those vultures from just coming in and killing everything. So honestly, not too terrible from Bonyth, but still painful to weather that kind of damage for free.
Yeah. Okay, here we go, son. This is what you were talking about. Mass drops now about to happen.
Yeah, he's the main base. Look at him go.
He's putting stuff in here. Vultures, everything. He can get some good storms on the ramp. Storm, Bonyth, storm.
It's a pretty good storm. Yeah, and there's follow-up storm as well to make sure those tanks definitely die. If he can get on top of the Terran productions, will be huge. Not really much left in the infantry. Unload more units, Bonyth. Not all these shuttles are empty. Come on, buddy.
There we go. All right, so we're causing some havoc here for Mihu by forcing him to pull things back, but all those shuttles now dead.
Yeah, Mihu's just so good with his production, though. Look at these factories churning away. So many units coming out that he's cleaning up this with just his rallied units. But we get the Comsat kill at least. Less scan available for our turn play. He's distracted right now, so there's no upgrades on the way. So 2-1 is the only timing he's got. Finally starting to see that spinning of weapons upgrade. So starting that +3 weapons at 18 minutes. Not too great for Mihu, but so far he's still looking pretty good.
Yeah, Mihu on 4 bases, Bonyth behind in upgrades, so that's also a struggle.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, is that even though Mihu's a little bit behind the curve in the tech, like, so's Bonyth. Like, relatively speaking, Mihu's still doing pretty good. If he could get another quadrant in the top left, get some rallied gates going up there, maybe somehow Bonyth can still make this happen. He doesn't want to allow a split map situation, though, if he's going to go gateway man. Eventually, it would be ideal if he could somehow get 3 quadrants set up, but that's going to be such a tall order as Mihu. So sharking around with these shells coming in at 6 o'clock location.
Yeah, not the best area to attack, and this is what I'm talking about. These units are all about to be clumped up in the mines and siege tank fire.
Yeah.
Just not going to happen here. Bonyth's going to have to rethink his avenue. Maybe when Mihu leaves and goes to push himself, that he can do it, but...
Oh, he's going in for it, but I don't know if this is the right play. I mean, he's going to get the storm in, though. Pretty good storms on that SCV.
Ooh, good storms.
Yeah, pretty good storms there from Bonyth. If he can get another one of those going, that'd be crazy. I thought he'd just fake something like that while the real shuttles go in at the natural expansion would maybe be a good idea, but not finding a play like that at the moment. Look at this huge move out from Mihu, though. He's going to try and get on top of this rally point before Bonyth can respond. Some High Templars in position, but look at this massive siege take. I don't know, this late siege, maybe exploit Protoss infantry in hot pursuit from behind. Some blankets of storm, but not quite connecting with this army in time, and there's not much left in the rally point. I think Bonyth is in trouble.
Yeah, his supply has just plummeted. He went from pretty much max to 139. Mihu here. Oh, getting some tanks. Caught in the back, though, there.
Yeah.
And army coming from the front. So a little bit sloppy there for Mihu. The question is, does it? Oh, missed siege tank fire there. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no. Yeah, not like this. So much blue goo there. You hate to see it. Look at that supply deficit. Over 45 supply. I think Mihu is just too much for Bonyth to handle in this match and maybe potentially series, because that would put him up 3-1 right now. Look at how much tanks there is. We see another High Templar. Beautiful storm connections, but there's just not enough rally of Zealots to come out and challenge this. There's a few straggler Zealots, but you need like a whole control group to really start to overwhelm this. He's not quite getting it. Here comes the shuttle to try and dive bomb onto these tanks. Maybe he can get something going.
Yeah, Mihu may lose this army here, but if you still look at the supply, I mean, he's up 50 supply again here. So like, right, he is very far ahead now, and he's cut off where the reinforcements will come out. And shuttles rallying into these Goliaths, unfortunately. Ooh, these mines may wipe out these vultures.
I don't know if he can do it, Raz. I mean, we see the panic DT start to come out. Maybe there's not enough scans or attention, but we know what Mihu is like. On brand, he is a scan machine, not missing a beat anytime, and always having enough energy in reserve. Look at that target firing as well.
Good storms there, though. But Bonyth trying to make gateways here, but he is down nearly 60 supply. Mihu is on his main base, killed the natural, killed his third base, and is now setting his sights on top left.
Yep, 50 plus supply deficit still for our Protoss. Not looking too good for him. Finally getting the Zealot train going, and we'll start to clean this up. But like Raz was saying earlier, even though he's cleaning up on Isle 5, it doesn't really matter. What you see is what you get for the Protoss player. As on the Terran side of the board, much more healthy infrastructure is online and churning out more and more blue that is making its way downtown across the board on the diagonal axis to start putting pressure on these freshly sprouted bases that Bonyth desperately needs to keep his economy alive.
Yeah, this will be where the game will really be sealed here if he can kill top left. I mean, Mihu has not taken another base just yet, so Bonyth, I don't know, is technically still in it, but I mean, he's climbing up a mountain now at this point.
It's like, you know, sub 2% win rate now for Bonyth, unfortunately. It's getting really dire. Like, we went from like 8% to 5%. Now we're like looking at 2-1%. It's not looking hot for our Polish Protoss. Has a dive bomb of shuttles coming in now with 2 of those shuttles diving out with some High Templars as well. Maybe some Blankets of Storms could kill enough of the tanks, but I don't think so. There's just too much blue streaming across the map right now. Eventually, Bonyth is going to have to type those 2 fateful letters.
Yeah, he's fighting it out, trying to pull back, see what he can do, but Mihu is just pushing into this top left, which is really what the mining has. Mihu now taking a bottom left, so he'll be getting saturated there, so he won't be losing too much economy. He is playing really well.
Yeah, with this ridgeline style main bases, it's easier for the Terran to get in here and attack. You can't quite defend as easily when it's a high ground expansion from high ground. Yeah, Bonyth tapping out. 3-1 lead for Mihu now. We're getting serious. I mean, this is getting scary.
You saw Bonyth's face, definitely some frustration there, you know, trying to play it out. Not getting what he wants to get done. Bunker going down. Always the risk of going this 19 Nexus. Mihu finally pulls the trigger on it and takes map number 4, putting him in a really commanding lead.
Yeah, this is a little bit worrisome. Dominator going to be the next map pick for Bonyth coming up here. But didn't Mihu pick Dominator going up against Zanhoon earlier?
He did pick Mihu in one of the series. I mean, he did pick Dominator in one of the series. I'm not sure if it was versus John Hoon. It might have been versus John Hoon. I think you're correct. Yeah. So a map that he's okay with, for sure. But Bonyth likes this map, I'm sure, stylistically, in the way that he's going to play tactically. So
absolutely. I mean, stereotypically, you can abuse this map a lot as Protoss, right? With the low ground main base and these pizza slices to abuse. Like, even just that alone is a big deal for Protoss in that early game phase. You can even do some crazy shenanigans with like a cannon rush, because you can see 6 o'clock, for example. You can just like run in with a probe, click those mineral patches, and run out, and you'll know if he's there or not without even risking being seen. We saw that in the SSL where you only clicked on one of the patches, though. You need to click at least 2 patches because they're 90 or 80% of the time the Terran won't split to that mineral patch, so it was a bit unfortunate for him.
Yeah, so Bonyth, I'm sure, going to just kind of get back to his bread and butter and play and do his thing with some Reavers and try to get what he needs to get done. Definitely can win this next game. He's got to start taking it game by game, doing what he has to do, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. He knows what needs to be done. So now for him, it just becomes win the next game, best of one. And if he can do that, he can try to take this.
You have to put out of your mind that somehow you'll need to win 3 games in a row against Mihu. Like, if you think about it like that, I've got to win 3 times in a row, you're probably not going to get it done. But you just treat it like 1 game at a time, baby steps. This can still be done.
Yeah, I think you can't think of it as like, I got to win the next 3. Oh my God, what am I going to do? You start with, I will win on Dominator, and then I'll take the next map and the next map and take it game by game. If you feel overwhelmed and just continue to get buried by that pressure, it doesn't help you, right? Like, you need to just say, I'll win the next game and I'll go step by step and get it done.
Yeah, when you climb Everest, you're not looking at the peak, you're looking at what's in front of you to make sure your imminent survival is, taken care of. And it makes sense. We'll probably be seeing something like that from Bonyth here. Looks like Mihu's not quite ready. He's making Bonyth sweat another extra minute here. I want there's a little tactical play from Mihu just to make Bonyth stew in those nerves just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think maybe he's just, running around in celebration. We don't know. Maybe running with, running around his chair, pumping his fists in the air, feeling good, Feel after the last series against John Hoon, not getting it done, and now this time he's in a commanding lead. I think it's okay. I think it's good for Bonyth to take a breath, right? Like, Bonyth is a super high level player. He knows what needs to be done. So I think for him, it's just take a breath. Let's win this map. Let's get focused. I know the build I want to do. I know what it has to be done, and he's going to go do it.
Okay, both players are ready. We're going to be going into game number 5 here on Dominator. Mihu apologizes.
All right.
We'll start.
We'll just give that map to Bonyth.
GG.
GG. Fastest win ever. Fastest win ever in BSL history.
That was like an MMA fight where they start the fight with a flying knee and the guy instantly gets KO'd.
That was it. The probes from Bonyth just flew across and killed all the SCVs from Mihu, and he had a GG out. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, Mihu's fault for just coming out the gate unprepared like that. Bonyth just knew he was doing it. And both players are going to be ready, so we're going back into it. Game number 5 on Dominator.
All right, game number 5. And in the top left position, it is Mihu. And in the mid right, we have Bonyth. Oh, look at these two, poised, focused, not flinching, ready to do what they have to do.
Yeah, you can see a few hairs of Mihu's head sticking up. There's electricity in the air. This guy is playing so much out of his mind that he creates static electricity and his hair starts to stick up like that.
absolutely. He's feeling it, man. He's feeling the energy flow. But Bonyth feeling it as well. I'm sure taking his time, doing what he needs to do.
Yeah. I mean, he just needs to keep his cool. And like you were saying before, Ash, just one game at a time. This is still okay. This is still doable. And what a great map to get things underway. Dominator. Lots of ways we can maybe abuse Mihu here, or at the very least slow him down, utilizing less tools than before. So being a bit more greedier, maybe in the times to come. Who knows?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to see some early pressure, and just really kind of offset what Mihu does. Get him out of his rhythm, break up what he does, and that's, I think, the most important.
Yeah. I hope Bonyth can just keep it together, man, because honestly, like, even though it's 3-1, like, there's still some pretty good maps left on the board for Bonyth to work with. And if we do see a bit of a continuation from that game number 1 where he does manage to throw the wrench into Mihu's cog work too early on, Mihu won't be able to get everything going and will fall apart at the seams like we saw a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, a good strategy here from Bonyth. If he can just, force some errors, get him out of his build, get him out of his rhythm. I think that's the most important.
Yeah. And both players going for a very mid-rangey style here. Nothing crazy, no 12 Nexuses, no proxy or anything like that. Just get your build underway, get into that mid-game phase as safely as possible. Nothing too crazy thus far.
And we see very standard here, nothing crazy. Bonyth actually opting not to go with that Zealot first after what happened. So...
yeah. I mean, I thought maybe he would apply a little bit of pressure here, maybe a little bit of Zealot good. But it seems like with how reserved everything is looking right now, he's going to be doing a much more like laid back approach to this 5th game.
Yeah, I think he is just gonna kind of hit his stride.
Yeah, I can't really fault him for that. Getting the range early on, sometimes I guess you go for a rangeless expand, be a little bit greedy here, but at the very least going to be faking that range.
Not this time. Not this time. Unless he just builds a bunker. Is he going to just get crazy, man?
Oh my god. He could, right?
No, okay. He's not going to. I was like, there's no way that would finish in time. Has
well,
he
I mean,
lost
if he doesn't...
his mind?
I mean, it shouldn't finish in time, and the probe would see that the Marine had left, so it would be very crazy that Bonyth wouldn't punish it, but somehow, I guess in a world where it's like a B-rank Protoss, it somehow works.
Yeah, alright, so Bonyth here is going with a more standard 21 Nexus, just doing his thing, getting up the Nexus in much better time than the command center, so that's a good start there.
Yeah. Doesn't quite get into the main base with the down ramp not giving you a missed chance on that exit, so 50-50 not even available to take, so won't be getting any information besides seeing the Nexus timing, which does help make him feel a little bit comfortable in this game, knowing that there's no crazy like proxy DT 5 minute shenanigans.
Yeah, just getting solid and doing what he's got to do. That's it.
So what's your prediction? Do you get Robo? Or?
I think he'll just go Robo into. I think he'll go 2-gate Robo Reaver, just the standard that he's been doing, and just try to delay Mihu with the Reavers, get into a late game, and do what he's got to do.
I think so. I think that makes the most sense here. And it's obviously not greedy at all, but on a map like this, you don't really want to be greedy anyway. Could open you up to be punished by someone of Mihu's ilk. He does like to go heavier in that factory count than most Terrans do, even though it's now become such the meta and standard to kind of emulate this and go for that 5-6 factory.
Yeah, I think Mihu will just go with the 5 factory, macro up, force a longer game. He's definitely comfortable there. He feels good there, so that's the way he's gonna keep playing, man. Why change it?
Yeah, I mean, the 5 factory does hard counter the fast Robo Reaver style. Usually, the Protoss player wants to really sandbag the Terran as much as possible, but you get enough factories out, you can kind of just A-move onto those Reavers, and they can't, like, slow you down enough and force as many sieges as they would like to. Needs to be careful with these mines. Doing a little bit of Bisu sweeping, they're going to be successful in that as well. Nicely done.
Yeah, Mihu getting up a good mine ring here, just kind of making sure you can see everything that comes in and out of Bonyth's space. But Bonyth just playing very standard here, right? Just 2-gate. Oh, no, he's not going to go Robo this time.
Oh,
we might see a 3-gate observer, heavy units into a third base, then a robo.
This is the safest way of playing Protoss, 3-gate observer. Like, this is like the most cookie cutter, I don't want to die way of playing this race.
Yeah, I mean, it's very strong right now with all these timing pushes that happen. You know, with the 3 tanks, you can just crush that.
Yeah.
And put yourself in such a good position.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously has a little bit of a deficit in terms of how strong you are in the later phases of the game. You don't quite squeeze out as early of a nexus on that third base timing, but you do make yourself way safer against any kind of timings, although Mihu has yet to elect for that third factory.
Yeah, Bonyth's going to get a full scout here with this observer, kind of see what's going on. He saw the vultures going up towards the top right, so he thought maybe a drop was incoming. Now he's just going to go down here and clear some mines, or he's going to run into it face first. Unfortunate. Yeah. Observer not as fast yet.
Observer getting in there, seeing what's what, will be good in identifying exactly what the Mihu response will be. Taking this third base relatively on curve. If you go 3-gate observer, this is about as greedy as you can take this third base if you're doing proper Dragoon production. You can obviously cut Dragoon production to squeeze it out a little, but then why go 3-gate? So yeah, usually you'll see this kind of timing and setup from Bonyth, and it's really respectable. You won't die to anything that a Terran can throw your way, but also means you won't be that greedy and having a crazy economy later on.
Yeah, this is just one of those, I'm not going to die, I'm going to get into a game. If he pushes out, I'm going to kill him, and we're going to go from there. So, yeah, very standard here now. We get the robo for maybe speed shuttles. We might see basic, pretty much double robo game here again from Bonyth if he really wants to. This is kind of how it sets up.
Isn't it funny how Dominator, we're seeing probably our most normal game of the night?
Oh, yes, Dominator, where all the normal games usually happen.
Yeah. This is such a standard map, guys. I mean, we shouldn't be too surprised.
I mean, the SSL, we saw some wild ones on Dominator.
We certainly did. Man. I mean, it is what it is.
At least Bonyth didn't proxy gateways in the wrong base. That's always the most devastating of the moves.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, just a moment. I think I said something about the you can go for like a a cannon rush, and check the minerals. But if you only click on one of the patches, then there's a chance that goes horribly wrong, which is what we saw. Was it Mighty that did that?
Was it Mighty? It might have been. I'm not sure who it was. Or was it? No, maybe it was Mighty.
I don't know. It was someone like that.
Sure. Yeah, it was one of the Protoss that are a little bit more on the amateur level.
Tyson Almighty, I think.
Tyson. Okay. Yeah, right now. Oh, third command center. Bonyth does see it, so that is good news for him. Might trigger him just to take his fourth and just keep getting bigger and bigger here, so he can just get into this late game. Good pylon wall here, not to take any harassment. Leaving that Dragoon in there, he's trapped with the probes.
Yeah.
Sole defender.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty nice setup from Mihu. He's being very tentative about this third base. Wants to take this as late as possible while still being able to keep up with anything that Bonyth can throw his way. We see a relatively on-time Citadel. Wants to get those leg enhancements online so you can actually deal with a Terran push. Because if they do get on top of you and you've just got these like little slow lots coming out, you can just get bowled over by the Terran players. So that timing of leg enhancements is crucial.
Yeah, we see that Mihu just getting up to that 6 factory count, man, just playing a very clean game, right? Like nothing crazy, no pressure, just getting into that late game.
Yeah. It looks like he's actually mining the gas a lot faster now that the CC's underneath it. Generally speaking, you mine a lot quicker this way. When the comsat's on the right and the gas is on the right, it's pretty bad. It's really suboptimal. You want to mine with like 4 SCVs rather than 3.
Bonyth sees this. He should use the Reavers here to block the units from getting down there. He can go both on the high ground here, or he can go up into that base to the top right that's there and use that ramp area to fight. He's got to be careful here.
I mean, he's getting one of the tanks. Please, Bonyth, be careful. That's all you can really get away with being ballsy about. Anything else would be a little bit too much. Please be careful. He's taking one of the shots on the Reaver. 2 shots already on that Reaver. Please be careful. Good God, man, you're playing with fire.
Yeah, he has a lot of units, man. If he can, look at this, 150 to 118. If he could just get all this over here, let Mihu push out a little bit and just crush this, he could win this game right here.
Do you think that was like to kind of bait Mihu into coming out and feeling confident? Like, oh look, you got some shots on my Reaver. I have to back off a little bit. Now you can come out nice and strong, and now I'm going to get you.
Maybe, because Mihu is moving out here. I mean, Mihu playing extremely defensive. I mean, bunker in the main, mines all down, making sure Bonyth can't drop. But I think Bonyth can bust this, man.
Yeah, I think so. It's possible. He is spread a little thin as well. Shuttles coming in, thinking a little bit hesitant, though. There is some Goliath support at this third base location. SCV transfer coming in now to get this base online, but a huge amount of Zealots have been stockpiled. Only a few mines here. Maybe they can get a good drag. Comes in with the beautiful detonations on there. Doesn't get quite the tank detonation he wants, but so far, so good. A lot of
there's a group of units
in.
not fighting. There's a group of units not fighting.
Oh, no, he's not coming in. That's really bad. That's really bad, Raz. Oh my god, he might lose. He might lose this fight because of that. Okay, now they come in on the right-hand side. Actually, not too bad of timing as well. Maybe this can still work wonders for Bonyth. He's getting on top of all of this units for Mihu. He spreads so thinly right now, Raz, and he's going to be defending from the low ground in the main base.
Yeah, he's doing a good job here, Bonyth. I think he's done it. I think he's busted through on Mihu being greedy, going for this base on the high ground. Bonyth. Absolutely running him over. Mihu fighting with SCVs and Vultures versus Dragoons and SCVs. Not exactly ideal here. Trying to siege up, but the damage is done, right? We lost our entire army, SCVs. We had to lift the third base. He's on. Yep, double robo out now.
I mean, he's going to just wait for another few rounds of macro to come out, and we're going to see another round of Zealots smash in. Please do not lose the Dragoons before the Zealots come in. Why are you running this way around? That's just a little bit of an accident, maybe. Unfortunately, the pathing on some of these maps isn't very good. Ideally, you want those Dragoons going around on the right-hand side, but doesn't lose too many of them, at least. There's so many Zealots waiting back at home to come and attack again in a few moments here. Just a few more rounds of units, we can go again.
Absolutely. Bonyth here playing this out really well. Mihu trying to get some damage done with these Vultures now, knows that he is in a dire position.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some Vultures to slow down this push, though. It's a little bit good for Mihu, identifying all these Zealots and keeping them pinned back right now, slowing down the effort. And but inversely, though, Bonyth has stopped him from mining at this third while he's getting his fourth online.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Mihu's got to be unhappy. The tank count reset. He is only on 2 bases. We're getting to 13 minutes. He doesn't have much time left in this main to continue to mine. Trying to find damage with these Vultures, but he is not. And Bonyth very okay with sitting here and macroing up on the 4 bases.
I mean, Mihu's going to be much more manageable if he's on like a 2-base economy situation, because he gets mined out in his main and natural so fast before finally getting this third online. Coming in here being a little bit more annoying with the shovels. He smells blood in the water.
Good storm on those Vultures to get them out of the way so he can run his Zealots onto the tank. Really well done from Bonyth here. Mihu getting a dropship out. I think that's like a desperation dropship trying to get damage. He's killing probes. But I don't know if that matters when you're losing all of your tanks at home.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Vulture run by at the 4th main only, but honestly not a lot of probes there or anything, so the compensation's not ideal for me here. This is much more favoring our Protoss player, Bonyth, as he starts to get some more trades with these Dragoons from the high ground, clearing up 1 or 2 more of these tanks to make it just that little bit sweeter of a deal.
Yeah, and he's going to get all these Templar out, which is a massive, massive deal. So even though he lost probes at home, he does have 4 Nexus to recover them up, and he just wipes out Mihu's unit count again. We're down to what, 2-3 siege tanks? Bonyth already on 10-11 gateway production. We see that Mihu mining out of the main there, so
I mean, he's got
really
8
a good spot.
He's got 8 factories and he can't afford to produce out of them, Raz. Is the kind of the main narrative right now. He needs this third base online so he can actually get his production in full swing, cranking out the units that he needs to. So far, Bonyth has done a great job slowing down Mihu. We see a dropship coming. He just barely missed it with that small auxiliary force. I don't know. This dropship could do a lot of damage.
This dropship can definitely kill the probes. There is a Dragoon down there helping out. I just don't know how he holds this base at this point. I mean, we got massive speed shuttles coming in non-stop here. Bonyth gonna kill that tank on the high ground. Ooh. Storm. All the SCVs have to be pulled. A lot of them going down.
Yeah, it can keep that shuttle alive in that dead space. Beautiful
catches
storm.
All these vultures. Oh my goodness.
That's a great trade there, Raz. 130 supply to 105. Still pretty healthy deficit for Bonyth to play with. Ooh, slowly getting the dead space taken away from that shuttle. Not able to quite finish it off, though. And now here comes that dropship. There is one Dragoon to help defend that, but maybe get a lot of drone probe kills here.
Right now, Mihu definitely feeling the pressure of this game. I mean, he is pretty much mined out of his main right now. Getting a vulture drop down here, and a vulture tank. Bonyth needs to react. Oof, big shot from that tank.
I don't think he can really deal with that. It's going to have to completely evacuate that position. It's super annoying to have to deal with that. We'll come in with a shuttle eventually. Maybe those probes can get all the way down to 6 o'clock and mine there. Does clean that out with a Reaver Storm combo. He storms to kill the dropship as well, not having any funny business from Mihu.
Yeah, it's like if you're going to keep dropping, make another one. Use your gas, use your money. This shuttle's still here. Mihu trying to see if he can get it. Bonyth now trying to pull it out here.
Ooh. Not quite finding that.
That would be enough.
Yeah.
I mean, supplies are still crazy close here.
Yeah, Mihu is just such a macro monster. Like, you have to do all of this and more while macroing back at home just to have a good hope at a good late game state. So really props to Bonyth keeping up with the machine that is Mihu for the present being. Still maintaining a somewhat healthy supply lead for the present moment. Trying to intercept these vultures out in the center of the board right now. Getting this other rally point online in the bottom left quadrant is huge. If you can somehow do this undeterred, it will be great for Bonyth.
Yeah, Bonyth getting bottom left, huge position here. Really doing a good job of keeping Mihu at bay. But man, this guy's macro's crazy. All this, and he's still at 150 of 170. All right, here we go in.
Oh, I mean, gets one of the shuttles immediately with that Wraith support. Gemini missile, just too much DPS. Gets the Wraith, gets the Reaver connection at least. Some SCVs has gone down. Some lost mining time as well. It's not too bad compensation, but it's not really enough damage for Bonyth to feel comfortable in this game. And he's not really isolating these vultures like he would want to either.
Yeah, that drop is really, really tough right there. He traded a lot for nothing. Mihu getting back online. We see Mihu actually takes the supply lead, but Mihu will be down to one base here in a moment. So if Bonyth can take care of the next fight and really get some good trades, he should be able to starve Mihu out here, right? Because Mihu's about to have 50 or 60 SCVs mining from that top right position.
It's going to be 3 bases versus 1 base production for a short while. If somehow Bonyth can maintain that game state while also getting another base online, things can really start to go to Bonyth's way. But there will be a hard, insurmountable odds to fight against for the time being, because right now Mihu's looking pretty healthy on supply, although this poor mana recall into the main base could just work.
Here we go. Let's see. He might be able to pull Mihu back.
Yeah, if he pulls him out of position long enough, this could be great. Like, he's opening up the position, but honestly doesn't lose too many of these units for free. Hopefully he can actually get some good trades going as well.
Okay, storming the SCB on there, recovering, just making Mihu kind of pull his army back into the main. I mean, Bonyth's got to be careful with these trades, right? Like, it's good that he's pulling the units away, but we're really not getting... Oh, this is going to be a big storm. At least get all those vultures. Storm, you know, he's got to be careful. We can't. Oh, that's a good storm.
Yeah, there's not enough Dragoons to finish off this CC, just barely, I don't think. But it's a really good effort. There is an SCV to repair that. He storms the SCV saying, please don't repair that. Right. Unfortunately, going to be able to get it, though. Just managed to squeeze out a few of these Dragoons. Not really finding the damage, but he is buying time, and now he's ahead on supply at least. So slowly getting the game state more and more where he wants it to be. So not too bad for Bonyth, but not really as where he wants to be. Not able to get this other base online in the bottom left, and not having many units out on the map to really just squash Mihu, so he's a little bit tail between his legs for the time being.
Yeah, Bond's got to be careful, like I'm saying, these trades though, right? Like, we can't just keep giving away units and shuttles. We actually have to try to really make something effective happen, right? So, because Mihu can slowly squeak back into this game if we keep giving away some of these free trades.
Yeah, he's just not trading out super hot right now. Eventually, the supply will max out for Bonyth, but so will Mihu be hot on his tails, climbing up to 180 soon. Getting down here with some vultures is super annoying, clearing out these high templates before they can get their value.
Yeah, Mihu really putting these vultures to work right now. Bonyth bringing more units over to kill. It's amazing how fast these vultures begin to start killing units and whatnot because of their +3 upgrades. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
So many Dragoons going down.
Yeah, the chatters that usually put 75 in the chat probably being very validated and vindicated right now. This is actually wild what Mihu's able to do with just these mineral-only units. Finally, though, Bonyth has had enough, and he's going to go for the aggression here.
Yeah, Bonyth is trying to get something done here as we go in now. Here we go. Let's see what he can do. This position's... Oh, my God. All the Templar... Oh, man! Storm!
Yeah, pretty huge storm on those SCVs. So much economy for Mihu just went down. Huge supply dip now to 144 to 175. Maybe he wants to go in again. Big EMP, though. That's crazy.
Wow, gets all the Templar, gets all the Dragoons. That has to be canceled down there. Mihu clawing back into this game. I would love to see Bonyth try to take that 6 o'clock position. I mean, if he just clears that one vulture, I think it's a little bit more holdable and sustainable than this bottom left natural. So just to get another base on point right now because he needs it. Mihu trying to sit, trying to hold, making more SCVs, floating another command center, going to try to take mid left.
Right. But Mihu's fairly comfortable. Like, denying this natural expansion going up in the bottom left quadrant does mean it's a 3 versus 2 base setup and only a mineral only. So Mihu's feeling okay about this.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get any damage done here. Oh, we do get a storm off. Only a couple SCVs.
I mean, this isn't, like, terrible for Bonyth, but not... Honestly, this is a bit kind of even, but the longer this goes on, the worse it gets for Bonyth. The onus is on him to do something. Mihu will continue to grow from here, and I'm a little bit concerned the longer this goes on.
Yeah, he needs to definitely try to get a trade in an area here where he can wipe the tank count again or lower it, force Mihu to spend money, because the longer that Mihu can just sit here and get to 200, is going to be more and more difficult, right? Like, we're on Gateway Man pretty much with drops. It doesn't fight well into the late game versus this. So we're going to go in from the right here.
He's moving out on the left. It might just barely be in time. If Mihu is stretched a little bit thin, the tanks are quite stretched out and spread. He comes in as a big minefield. Archon as well won't trigger those mines. Does take a lot of siege tank shots. Big flood of zealots coming in. Preemptive defensive matrix on one of those tanks. Where's the Sonic Storm? Come on, let's go.
All right, Bonyth gets 1 storm down, 2 storms, 3. That's a good one, getting a lot of vultures. But I don't think this is enough here from Bonyth. And Mihu going to absolutely clean up this army.
Yeah, I mean, the supplies are even, but that is definitely a Terran victory right there. And looking stronger and stronger as the seconds tick by. Now not able to do anything about this base being set up on the left here. Now, double expansion attempt from Bonyth, trying to switch this situation into a 5 versus 3 setup. Not looking too hot for Bonnie at the moment.
Yeah, Bonyth's starting to kind of lose some momentum and steam. He was really harassing him, being all over the place, but now we have Mihu now securing another gas base. He's now mining from 3 bases, where Bonyth is really only mining from 2, trying to get the 3rd up. Mihu clawing his way back in and is starting to look like he may be able to hold.
Yeah, oh, the interception on those probes. He doesn't quite see it. Actually, that's a big... Oh, he goes back on the retreat. He might be able to catch them eventually. Oh, this is a huge bit of luck there from Bonyth. That could have been, like, game-ending.
Yeah, definitely would have hurt if he loses 12 probes out of nowhere. Oh, no. No!
Oh! He actually sees it and saves the other one. That's not too terrible.
Yeah, at least he only lost 1 for the mines.
I mean, mines are so crazy, but... I mean, what can you do at this point in the game? Mihu's just been all over him all day long. It's crazy what this guy is able to do, both in terms of his macro capability, but also in terms of like how much task switching he's had. Look at his APM, almost 400. It's crazy.
Yeah, Mihu is all over the map, and he is just showing why he is just so strong and good. I don't know. He's going at the weak one first. There, that one goes down. This is what I'm talking about. These little bit of trades for nothing become worse and worse, and Mihu powering up. He's taken the supply lead now. Once he gets to 200, he has all these mining bases. He will probably feel good to move towards the bottom left. mine up the right side, move towards the left, maybe even take another expansion, I think is going to be the play here for Mihu.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many options available for the Terran player, whereas those options are drying up fast for Bonyth. He's in the desert looking for an oasis, and I'm not too sure he's going to find it before he becomes dehydrated in this game.
Yeah, going to be difficult here, and Bonyth's got to be careful. Oh my goodness, goodbye, Dragoons. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, not like this, boys. Please be careful with your army. Bonyth now being hunted down by the swarm of vultures, like a massive swarm of hornets, just constantly hounding Bonyth. Needs to keep the escort for these Templars as well. I don't want to get those sniped off for free. And also an EMP, because well, coming in for a big drop on the Nat Mineral only, though.
Oh, he EMP'd them. Oh my goodness. He reacted with an EMP. There was no way to get a storm off. Wow, what defense, and Bonyth's supply has plummeted. That was 3 shuttles filled with Zealots and High Templar, so 12 units plus the 3 shuttles. Oh my god, 30 supply gone. And now we have 4 Dragoons, 2 Zealots, and about 6 Templar. Another EMP goes off.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. We saw Bonyth mutter. Oh my god, the mine here as well. This is absolute devastation. We saw Bonyth muttering to himself. He's really feeling the pressure right now. Everything is in a manner of desperation for him. He can't really hang on for much longer in this game. 140 supply to 180, and he's knocking on his door right now, getting to this rally point in the Bonyth. He has some storm available to him. Maybe if Mihu was a little bit lackluster with his tank positioning and he get good storms here, maybe he could keep the Terran at bay, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. There's just too much in the army for Mihu to come down in here and challenge. Looks like a little bit of counterattack potential for Bonyth, but with such a pitiful force, I can't see how he's going to deal with him.
Yeah, we're looking in to see what's going on here, and it's like, man, what's going on is Terran is now taking a strong position in the bottom left. Gateway Man, oh my goodness, another EMP. Gateway Man running out of steam. The shuttle's running out of steam, and this is where it becomes hard. He's defended really well. Bonyth is really just on these 2 bases, but no way he can defend this bottom left at the same time. Oh, we do have the mineral only still going, but Mihu really looking strong, taking care of business, gonna siege this bot left base.
I mean, Bonyth is hanging on by the skin of his teeth right now, trying to clean out some of these mines that are in the center of the map, cutting off reinforcements. Maybe somehow, some way, he can get in here and clean this up, and maybe Mihu, makes a few sloppy blunders here and overextends himself. But it's going to be a tall order. Lots of Zealots starting to stream along. Maybe he can buy just barely enough time, but hopefully Mihu will get down here with the remainder of his rally units. Like we can see now, such a big long train of tanks just streaming up to this pizza slice.
Here we go. He's going to try to bust through this area here, but just so many Terran units. Ooh. Maybe Bonyth can take out this little piece of Mihu's army and take... Yes, he will clean this up. That's a big deal, able to get some. But I'm just looking at Mihu's macro man. He didn't even really go down supply. Somehow he went up. I don't even...
He's just such a macro monster. That's the scary thing about this guy. It's like playing against I Love Uve back in the day. He just makes an ungodly amount of units. It's like he's cheating or something. It's absolutely wild how many units are churning out of this man. Look at him firing in all cylinders.
Oh man, it's very tough. Very tough here. This base going down for Bonyth. Gonna try to evacuate, I think, these pros with those shuttles to get to the 6 o'clock. You kind of see the look on Bonyth's face. He is recognizing that this game may have taken a turn for the worst here now, and he may not be able to recover from this position. Trying to drop on top of these tanks. Oh my goodness, not even going to get this siege tank with the D-Matrix. Mihu will not give up an inch. Bonyth sending his Zealots in, trying to see what he can get here.
I mean, it's crazy how on top of it everything Mihu is, right?
Mihu is not skipping a beat. He's taking mid-left. He has this base. Bonyth's going to clean up that science vessel, but his supply has dropped to 118 versus the 165 of Mihu. Mihu looking to book his place in the final with the rematch with John Hoon. Bonyth smirking a little bit, knowing he put a really good effort here, but just too much here from the Terran. Double D Matrix. Oh my goodness, not even gonna lose Oh, he loses one tank for all of that, and there is the GG.
Wow. You saw that knowing smile from Bonyth, almost like a boyish inner child there, recognizing what had actually occurred. And he did do so well in this series, just not quite able to close it out against someone of Mihu's prowess. Just too fast, man. How'd you keep up with this Terminator?
I don't know, man. Bonyth wins the first engagement, in my opinion, takes out all the tanks, resets that whole count, kills SCVs, forces a lift. Mihu's almost mined out of his entire main, just stuck with the natural, and somehow pulls it back. And I think this is where this dropship, or sorry, shuttle style really starts to get tricky. You can't just start dropping and getting nothing for the trades because Terran can slowly inch back. It's almost like you need to keep re-engaging with their units to keep wiping the count so that they just continuously have no money and no armor to push out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, phenomenal for Mihu. I mean, he's in such a bad place and is able to crawl back.
Yeah, I definitely think you want like a PVC mindset of like skirmishing with the Terran and just trying to whittle them down slowly but surely to a nub over time. It's just so hard to execute that. And against someone of Mihu's caliber, I can't really fault Bonyth not being able to secure that victory in the end there, unfortunately for him. And Mihu's so confident on Dominator, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, Mihu just is everywhere, man. He started protecting those drops, started fighting units well. Vultures were active, you know, not missing a beat on his macro cycles. Unfortunate for Bonyth. I mean, I thought he came out of the gate swinging today, really took down Mihu on Apocalypse, was phenomenal. You know, he played a really good series, but just not enough to take down this monster that is Mihu.
He came out swinging. I mean, we saw like Mihu have our 3 idle SCVs game number 2 on Vermeer, and he looked flustered adjusting himself in that chair. We did see Bonyth manage to disrupt Mihu's equilibrium quite significantly after game number 1, but wasn't able to gain his footing and maintain that advantage for the rest of the series, unfortunately. So it is going to be, unfortunately, maybe not for some of you at home, not a mirror matchup grand finals, because now we've got Zanhoon versus Mihu. We have to worry about an all Protoss finals here.
No, we're gonna have an all Chinese player final here, Zanhoon versus Mihu. We casted that series yesterday, and I mean, wow, it was everything we expected. Went the distance, 4-3 to Zanhoon. Mihu now will be looking for revenge, and Zanhoon will be getting ready to face off against this monster to take him out.
And it's a best of 9 res. Like, can you imagine a 5-4? Like.
Yeah, that could be a wild long day there. So
yeah.
The finals will be on Sunday of next week.
Okay.
So that will be the date that is hosted here. So make sure you don't miss it. Put it in your calendars because I'm assuming this is going to be some slugfest going into this grand finals. I'm sure these two players are going to be training all week, getting ready to really try to take down the BSL19 championship.
Yeah, make sure you reserve like 4 hours at least, I reckon. If that goes the distance, you're going to need it. Some of those games will go absolutely insane. I can't even imagine what's going to happen between these two guys. They're going to be thinking all kinds of craziness. So how are they going to outdo each other? Because they play against each other so much. They really do know each other inside and out. So the meta game gets even more interesting when you're so familiar with someone like that.
Absolutely. These guys play all the time. They hit each other constantly in tournaments. So, and we know that was so close last time. That finals was, or that winter bracket finals was crazy. So now we'll have the grand finals will be even more wild.
Yeah. I'm super looking forward to that, Rez. I hope we can get into that soon. I hope somehow we could like be time travelers and just speed things up and get that right underway and cast that tomorrow. But fortunately, we'll have time to rest and wait for that, guys. And you'll get a time to just like, you know, process what you saw here today. Some pretty crazy games. Unfortunately, Bonyth couldn't close it out, but he did have a really strong showing against Mihu and actually made the god bleed.
He did, but not enough. They were able to finally figure it out there, and Mihu takes it down. So, what a day here.
Yeah, what a day. So we're gonna maybe go over now to a little word from our sponsors and thank some of you guys for supporting us, because we are so thankful for all of you here. Liquid Nazgo and Steve at Team Liquid here, the CEO and EXO. Much shout out to you guys. Appreciate your support. And again, with these goal supporters, the one-time donations can be so crucial, especially these big ballers. 2,000 CRVT, 500 Jaziri, 300 with Pancakes Guy, 269 LML, 150 Spaceman 5, 125 Oops Mind, 120 Chao Zhu, 100 Zunky, 100 Dragon, and so many more. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm looking at you Patreon supporters securing support on the regular every single month. Wolf of Wall Street, $200 a month with Andrew. Big shout out to you, my guy. You're an absolute monster of a man. Bombastic General, $100 a month. My fleeting dream. Big shout out to you too, buddy. Bombastic Colonel, $50 a month. Striker, such a strong Zerg player. I like that guy. Bombastic Major Plus sounds like some sort of Orwellian speak. $30 a month. Tim and Tupacalypse, thank you so much as well. Bombastic Major, $20 a month. Yu Jang Medinio, Stephen Robertson, KJ Streaming Channel, Daniel Lopez, LML, Nicholas Schuler, Scheming Gypsy, and now it's time for me to breathe.
Well done. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for people donating today. People on. Oh, and Bonyth's going to jump in here for a quick interview to talk about, finishing third, still a really good thing here in the BSL. So, I mean, it's very impressive with the player pool itself. So,
yeah.
Hello, Mr. Bonyth.
Hey, man.
Hello there.
How you feeling?
Well, I've tried twice. In the best of 5, I tried my own way, career way. The second time I tried the more common way. Both didn't work. Apparently, he's just better at StarCraft.
He is just better at StarCraft, my friend. His macro was absolutely madness, but you played so well. Really commendable effort from you, Bonyth, my man. I don't know how you do it. You don't even put in that much practice for how good you are.
Well, I guess so. Well, thank you. First of all, well, I put the practice in my childhood. I guess this is where my mechanics are, and a little bit of wisdom, I suppose. And
yeah,
I guess I just
don't forget how to ride the bike.
Yeah, something like that.
No, I mean, it was impressive to see you come out and play the double robo style with the shuttles. It's not an easy style just to try to pick up, but in game 1, it was beyond impressive. I mean, you pulled him all over the place, and you were phenomenal. I mean, some really close games. Even that game on Dominator, I thought you pulled out all the stops. You had such a good engagement on the first engagement, reset the tank count, killed SCVs. Just couldn't close it out, unfortunately.
No, Terran gets their upgrades and they just sit. Nothing can do.
But you had him so rattled after game number 1. He had 3 idle SCVs in his main base and he was adjusting himself in his chair. You had him so tilted after game number 1.
Maybe he didn't sleep well enough for the game number 1. Maybe he wasn't warmed up enough. Anyway, Apocalypse is a map where your main layout is it's not in the corner, right? So you can drop shuttle bombs from basically all directions, unlike some other maps. Dominator, I mean what's Dominator, right?
Dominator, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay map for that too, but well, Mihu made a couple of adjustments. I guess a couple of poor decisions here and there could have been better, and yeah.
Mihu seems super confident on Dominator. I think he even picks that as one of his maps against Zanhoon. What do you think about
that? I think people think that it's more of a Protoss map. I mean, if you look at the map pool, let me check where is the map pool. I'm having a hard time picking a Protoss map. There are either Terran maps or average maps for PvP.
Yeah. I have to say the map pool, as soon as I saw it for SSL as well, I was like, that's a little bit of a Terran-sided map pool, I have to say.
But you're going to be really stirring up the chat right now, telling people that there are not a lot of Protoss maps in the map pool, because we all know that people like to say Protoss easy. Any map is their map. There's no such thing as a Terran map. But I have to kind of agree with you. Some of these are very difficult. I mean, we were talking about Pantheon, even with the shuttle style. Like, how do you attack into these bases? I don't know where you attack, where you fly into, because everything has such tight chokes going into the bases. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I think you just break through the front when he sees that you built many shuttles, so he's gonna have every angle covered. I mean, he's in a corner, so that makes it easier for him. So that's why I guess the frontal attack would have been the correct approach. Maybe that's just a bad approach for this map. I don't know. I've never felt really comfortable on Pantheon. Basically never ever. So yeah, it's just I don't feel the map at all.
It's a very awkward map, I would say, for PvT. I don't know how you're supposed to navigate that as Protoss, but I was a little bit. I really did want you to go all the way against Mihu, because you would have been Zanhoon in the finals. He's not so hot in PvP, and you're pretty good in PvP. You could have maybe taken.
No, don't underestimate Zanhoon. He is pretty good PvP. Basically, like you could think of him as, I don't know, second devil, basically.
Yeah, would you fear him a little bit?
So I mean, in one of the BSLs I lost against Zanhoon, I think. In some other I won against Zanhoon, but well, the story is he's plenty strong in PvP.
But how are you feeling about your future here in StarCraft? Because you're such a talented guy. You don't necessarily need to be fast and worry about these younger guys. You could still play for many years to come. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, as long as people will watch me, as long as there are tournaments going. I mean, there is such thing as just, MMR difference, right? And it doesn't matter if the pool is slightly towards Protoss, Terran, or Zerg. If there is MMR difference, the better player just wins. That's how StarCraft is. Unless there are two equal players, of course. But other than that, well, if you're just better, usually you get further. So based on that, I'm gonna use myself as a tool for you viewers to enjoy yourself and watch some high quality StarCraft. Hopefully.
Well, I'm sure I speak for most of the viewers, Raz, when we really would hope you do stick around. You're such a credit to this community.
Yeah, I always stick around a little bit less active or more active, but in the end, I'm always around there somewhere.
Yeah, getting ready for the next BSL, I'm sure. Maybe mixing some other games. I know I catch you streaming a couple other things here and there. I know you like to mix it up, which is always healthy, right? Not to just be playing all the time, because StarCraft, as we all know, we have our ups and downs, and you get those frustrated moments, and you hit those walls. But you continue to improve and continue to show, how good of a player you are with whatever style. So, congratulations on finishing third this season. I mean, absolutely amazing. You took out some big time players like Dawid. You two are the El Clasico. You guys seem to always hit each other somewhere, and you go back and forth, but you were very impressive in all the series. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And you guys for commenting. Wonderful commenting. Thank you.
Hopefully you weren't listening while you were playing.
Then how can I even beat Mihu if I don't do that? Just kidding, in case someone believes that.
Kidding. He's just trolling. He's a chill guy. Relax.
All right, Bonyth, thank you very much for the interview. We wish you the best. Hopefully you'll keep playing, keep streaming, and then we'll see you back in the next BSL, hopefully to take it down.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bonyth. Take care, buddy. Really good job on that third place spot. Hopefully see you again in the next season. I'm sure we will. Thank you so much at home. Please, guys, invest in some of that merch as well using that code, 15% off. And we're going to be having Zanhoon versus Mihu, a first time in BSL and all Chinese grand finals.
We will see everyone next Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Zun, for casting me today. Thank you, Zero, for being a good observer and hosting all these events. And thanks to our players for participating and doing what they have to do. So continue to support, and we'll see everybody next weekend for the grand finals.